We all love sleep, except when we wake up too hot or too cold. Thankfully, My Sheets Rock created the Regulator Sheets. These sheets regulate temperature while you sleep, keeping hot sleepers cool and cold sleepers comfortable. They're also extremely breathable and soft, so you'll get the best night's rest. That's because they're made of bamboo rayon, which transfers body heat 2 times better than cotton sheets. These sheets are so comfortable, I didn't even want to get out of bed this morning, but when I did, I was rested. Check out My Sheets Rock at mysheetsrock.com/peasants and enter code peasants for 10% off and free shipping. That's mysheetsrock.com/peasants, code peasants.
In the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
I gotta get a witness. No!
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
That's true. Sometimes I cry.
Oh! Lick my butthole, he laughed.
From the strangest corners of the internet, here to bring you opinions of the world from an altered perspective. Here are your hosts, the Drunken
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the
Peasants.
Drunken Peasants Podcast, episode 751.
Fuck it.
We are joined once
Going
again by Brad Jones, the cinema snob. Welcome back, Brad.
Yeah. There's so many clouds. I'm looking at the setup.
Yeah, it's very cloudy.
It's very cloudy. I just noticed it.
It's that bright, shiny kind of cloudy sky, though. You know?
It's very nice here because I'm looking out at the window and it's just storming outside. So I appreciate the lovely cloudy scenery we have here.
You know, it's kind of a weird myth that here in Seattle it rains all the time because the summer is actually really nice here and it doesn't rain a lot.
Don't tell people that, though. They'll move here.
Yeah, because the grass starts to turn brown even. Like it'll go like 2.5 months without rain.
The spring is really nice.
Yeah.
And then the summer is great. And then the fall comes and it gets kind of weird. And the winter comes and it gets kind of weird. But it's never terrible. It's never like completely miserable.
Yeah.
That's the secret about Seattle.
It never gets too hot and it never gets too cold. Like it has not gotten over 80 yet this summer here, I don't think. But then in the winter it doesn't get below 40 usually. So
yeah, not on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good place to live, but don't take my word for it. Stay wherever you are. We're tired of people moving here.
Well, here in Chicago, every extreme is true. It is always too cold or way too hot. If you go outside, went out on a walk the other day and it felt fine for 5 minutes until the sun came through the clouds and then, okay, sweating bullets. It's 200 degrees outside again.
Is the windy part of it true? Is it really windy there?
In the city, yeah, with a mixture of you get the tunnels through the buildings and everything, and right there by the lake. Down in the suburbs, the main thing that you're going to run into is that sweet Illinois humidity where you can just sweat off about 50 pounds in a day. Or come wintertime, the wind chill. The wind chill is the worst part.
Yeah, and that's just being near a lake like that. Like Lake Michigan brings the humidity in the summer, and then during the winter brings the lake effect snow. You get the worst of both.
It doesn't affect us too much because most of us we just kind of stay inside during those weeks.
Yeah. So before we went live, what were we talking about?
All the closures?
That was a long time ago.
I know. That was upwards of 7 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We were talking about all the areas that are closing. We're talking about how Seattle has had a soft reopen. We're like in a phase 2. We get to go to restaurants at a smaller capacity. I ate at Chipotle today, ate outside. Speaking of Windy City, my bag kept blowing in the wind, pissed me off. I should have just eaten in my car. I just thought it was a nice change of pace. Then the wind just kept blowing my damn Chipotle bag around. Not happy. But bars, I think bars are open if they serve food.
You can't sit at a bar here, though. Even though a bar could be open, and I think the food thing might be true, you can't actually sit at the bar.
They let you do takeout cups at some places.
I think I saw that.
I know when I was in San Francisco, they were doing that. I was in Castro, and I went down to the gay area, and like all the cool queers were out there just hanging out. They were so cool. I wanted to drink with them, but I'm like, I don't drink. I could maybe start drinking. I was with somebody who also was kind of an alcoholic in a past life, so maybe it wouldn't have been cool to start drinking there just because it looks so fun. I wanted to, though. Nice.
Here you can sit at the bars. You can sit at the bars here. They have like certain spacing between some seats, but here, I mean, honestly, it's normally a sad thing if you go to the bar by yourself to just sit at the bar and drink. But here, it's actually very happy and perfectly convenient now for you to do that. You get the whole area to yourself.
That sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah.
Why lonely drink at home when you could lonely drink at the bar?
It's not lonely though, you know?
Yeah. There's no one like who can sit around you to like bother you with small talk or anything like that.
Right.
Talking to people's always been like the worst thing about people to me.
Yeah.
Having conversations, I don't like it.
But you talk to random people all the time that you don't even know in public. You do that more than anyone else I know.
To fuck with them.
Okay.
If it hurts me that much, I know it bothers them too.
Okay.
But dude, I know what you mean. I totally know what you mean, because like you're a random person, like you can more or less kind of keep that short. You run into someone you know really, really well. There's that awkward small talk that's like a game of chicken where it's like, is it too rude to like end the conversation now?
Or worse, it's somebody you haven't seen since like high school, and they just happen to be in some weird pyramid scheme, and they're convincing you that you have to join up. They're like, yeah, it's multi-tiered marketing. No, it's not. It's a trap. We know it's a trap. Back off. Go home. Somebody brainwashed you.
Then you got to reminisce about the big game.
Yeah, luckily, all my big games were like Magic the Gathering cards. I never went to the high school football games.
Ours is like, dude, remember like it was freshman year, we beat Super Mario 64 in like 3 hours.
I miss Nintendo 64 nights.
I was about to buy one to have here in the studio so we could play it when we do Twitch streams.
Then would we drink soda pop and compare farts all night?
No. Well,
It wouldn't be like the old days then. We do kind of
do that anyway.
don't we? We do, yeah.
Yeah.
Without a 64. It's the old days are here again.
Everything's coming back. Farting, Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to play No Mercy, WWE No Mercy. I used to binge play that game, and GoldenEye.
I wasn't as deep in GoldenEye.
Really?
Because I was too busy playing No Mercy and the other wrestling games. I was like literally 24/7 wrestling games. Everything else I had GoldenEye. Didn't play it enough.
I was hardcore into GoldenEye. Still am. Nintendo 64 is like one of the systems I do take with me everywhere. Like when I'm going on like vacation, when I'm going to see the in-laws during the holidays or something, I'm
Nice.
like, I know I can pass time if I bring my 64 with me, and GoldenEye and Mario Kart and Mario 64, and it's like, screw it, I'll throw Mission Impossible in there as well.
Do they have like a handheld 64 device yet? Someone
There's
backwards
ports.
compatible?
I mean, there is a Mario 64 port on the DS, I think. So there's some that kind of got upgraded to other ones, but yeah, I don't know about like a big library of it. That would actually save me some room in my suitcase.
It'd be cool if they just had the little like handheld machine. You could put the old cartridge in it, and then play it right there in your hands. There's got to be the technology for that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody could throw that
It was
together.
kind of
right?
like a Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Yeah, somebody do that for me. Make that happen, please.
So I guess we will start off with the very first segment that we're going to do. Here we go. Whenever it starts.
He called me sir. It got me so human angry.
People are discriminating against wolves. Wow.
They're laughing at us, at our stupidity.
I saw Jimmy Dore got interviewed by Jesse Ventura on his show.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
I like that. I want to watch that.
Billy curated a lot of the articles today. Billy is an absolutely huge fanatic of going to the theaters, and he's felt an emptiness in his life for the last 5-6 months now.
I was on a diet for like 2 years, lost 250 pounds. They shut down the movie theater, which is where I would go to spend a couple hours not eating. If I really had a hankering for some trash, I'd just go to a movie and I'd sit there. I'd bring in like a stupid protein bar. I'd have my dumb protein bar, and I'd make sure I wouldn't order any popcorn or stuff like that. I'd sit there and I'd watch the movie, and it was therapeutic for me. And then COVID shut the movie theaters down, and I gained 50 pounds. Blame it all on the movie theaters shutting down.
The question is, if the film studios can make the same amount of money by going direct to home release, and people are going to pay the same as they would in the theater, wouldn't it make more sense for them to just do them all direct to home release?
People could steal them at that point a lot easier, right?
Yeah, you have a point there.
You're still making bank on a lot, like how Trolls 2 did. Made more. I don't know how much, but I think more than it probably would have if it was in theaters. I think if I was to guess, the reason why that's not the route that they are taking is because at least this way, if you're pushing back, the James Bond movie, Wonder Woman, and all that, at least then you have things next year to release, whereas nothing's getting made right now. Yeah. So if they were to release everything now, my guess there wouldn't be a lot to release in 2021. Except it maybe like all Blumhouse movies. I'm not sure.
I guess they're still filming in New Zealand because New Zealand has like no cases. And if you want to go shoot over there, they just put you on quarantine for 2 weeks. So they're still making some films out there. So we might have a few new movies.
There was a movie called Angry Asian Murder Hornets that was shot during the quarantine. So every actor had to shoot their own footage.
Oh, wow.
The director. It all works out. The movie was 80% walking. It seemed easy enough. My diet is actually better now that I'm with you. I miss movie theaters, but I would get popcorn about every week. So now I'm probably in the best shape of my life, having not eaten movie theater popcorn in 3 months.
And then they try and do that thing where they add the Cheetos to the movie theater popcorn and roll it around in cheese dust. That's a next level trap right there. I will eat that. It's so good. Before COVID, I was sneaking those in every once in a while.
What happened with your movie pass when COVID started? Did they give you a refund?
They put it on pause.
Okay.
So it's like $20 a month through Regal for unlimited movies, and it's on pause. They're supposed to reopen Regals. I don't know if they will in Seattle. They reopened them in California. They're already shut down again.
Here, they're supposed to. I'm at Regal too. I got the same thing, the unlimited thing.
Oh, it's
That's
great.
Like the best. It is. It's the best one of like any of the movie theater chains. Here, they're supposed to open up the 31st, but who knows? Because I think they were supposed to originally open up on the 10th, and then it got pushed to the 31st. Yeah. I would guess they would probably stay closed if there's still certain states, especially California, that can't open back up. Because if certain states are still closed, how much could something possibly make?
Now is the time for the reemergence of the drive-in theater. Everyone's in their own little pod, and instead of concession service, they could have like wait staff.
Have you heard Walmart?
Oh, in their parking
August,
lots?
all their parking lots, not all of them, 160 parking lots across America are going to be turned into drive-in theaters.
They are smart for doing that.
That is awesome. It's not surprising too, because I've seen a slight resurgence in some drive-ins. The only reason why I haven't been to one in the last couple months is I think the closest one here is like 90 minutes away.
Yeah.
But with you saying that about Walmart and movie and parking lots doing that, yeah, that's genius. That's brilliant.
There's a drive-in theater an hour and a half away from here. And
Yeah,
I've
you have
gone
to
twice now.
You have to drive across the water or take a ferry to get over there from here.
I've gone twice, and the movies aren't that great. Like I saw
they're
Batista.
crap. That's why I haven't gone out there. There's another drive-in around here too.
There's one that plays older form
Yeah.
movies. Like I remember Gremlins was playing this last week.
Yeah.
I look it up just for the excuse to go out, but they're pretty grimy. Like there's a reason drive-ins are dying. Like if you have to pee while you're there, you got to walk into this little concrete room. It feels like a prison.
No, dude, you just bring a can.
True. Damn it. Well, I went with kids one time. I don't think I can be piss canning with kids.
You should just get an RV. Then you can just piss in your RV.
The RV would suck to you have to park on the very back because you block people's views.
But you'd be up high.
It's true.
It's a huge screen.
That's how I got kicked out of movie theaters to begin with.
Piss cannon?
Yeah.
I remember one time I filled an entire one of those big drinks, the big soda cups full of pee, and then I set it down next to me, and I forgot it was there and knocked it over.
Oh,
I was like a teenager. It was not the smartest thing to do. I was gross. I was a gross teenager.
Dude, I got a similar story to that. Same thing, but a girl I was dating at the time accidentally drank it.
No.
Oh no.
I'm dead serious. This is a long time ago. So it was really late. It was late at night, and I was sitting there. Probably had a few too many to the point to where I was like, it's easier to just pee in this can than get up and use the restroom.
Yeah.
So I did. Went back to sleep. Forgot about it.
Yeah.
Until she came over the next day. She sits down and goes, "Ooh, hey," because look, that's your mistake, just drinking a random soda that's already sitting there anyway. But so she's like, "Ooh, hey, soda sitting there," drinks, and then goes, "Oh my god!" And I'm sitting there, and then it hit me. It hit me like I just remembered that I did this the night before, and was like, "Oh shit!" I had to think of an excuse off the top of my head. I'm like, "Do I say I peed in this?" And what I did was, here's what my genius brain came up with. I go, "Oh, sorry, I was cleaning the table and spilled some cleaner and had to kind of shovel some of it back into the can." I'm like, that was a lame excuse, but she bought it.
She thought it was cleaner.
Yeah.
As I take a sip of kombucha really quick here.
I did that to myself one time. I was on live stream on Twitch, and I was joking about drink. I had some tea in a jar, and it looked kind of like pee, the color the tea was.
You had a Jared moment.
I pretended to drink the thing and pretended it was pee, trolling everybody. I was like, "Nah, guys, it's just tea." And then it was like a long stream, like a 20-hour stream or something. And I go to grab a bottle and drink from it, and it was one that was actually a pee jar. But because I'd already trolled the chat, I just shut up and drank it. And just put it back down so they wouldn't know I actually did it. Because I was like, they're not going to believe me either way. They're going to think I'm trolling again. I don't want to drink pee for the reaction. I'm just going to pretend this didn't happen. It was rough. It was not cool.
Ashtray can I have a few times. Yeah, exactly. It's late at night. It's dark. You're like, "Oh, right, that's my can of Pepsi and ashes and cigarettes."
I had one of those farting sleepovers playing Nintendo 64 all night, and my friend was smoking, and he ashed in my soda, and I we would take turns playing. Like one person would pass out while the other person stayed up, so I passed out, woke up, my soda from the night before was sitting there. I take a big swig of it, and it wasn't just ashtray. There was a big hefty loogie in it. I know I saw you drinking, Ben, and I wanted to pause and not say it, but the pause would have gone too long. It was not good. It was to this day, it's it sticks with me. It's not good.
It haunts my dreams.
It does, yeah.
So, what's this thing you sent me about boat drive-ins, Billy?
Oh yeah, dude. It looks so cool. It's it Paris where they're gonna do this?
Oh, man. That's where everything good is.
I know. They won't let us into Paris. Those filthy Americans keep coughing and sneezing.
Yeah.
We can't go into Europe.
We can't go anywhere right now.
It's not fair.
Right?
They were just looking for an excuse to kick us out.
Yeah.
The virus was perfect.
The French are happy with this. So are you going to bring it up? Let's drop the DP logo, right?
Yeah.
This logo is more trouble than it's worth.
I know. I just did it so something was on the screen.
I like that.
But I'll bring this up. Hold on.
But
oh shit. There we go.
According to the press, a floating movie theater where people sit in socially distant boats on the water is coming to Paris.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Where's that?
You watch like
article?
Sleepaway Camp or Friday the 13th there?
Was that it?
Yeah.
That's a great article, Insider.
Here's all the facts about it.
Yeah, the Paris plages, plague. How do you pronounce that? Plage?
Plage?
Paris plague. I'll just say what I think.
The plagues.
The Paris plages, an annual event organized by the French capital, creates temporary beaches along the Seine and the Bassin de la Villette during the summer. I am butchering my French. I'm not a good French boy. Yeah, Bassin de la Villette. Forget it. I'm gonna talk like I'm have a chili dog in my mouth while I'm speaking whenever I read French.
You know, I'm so bad at it too. And I felt really. I guess in France they appreciate it if you try to speak French.
Really?
Yeah, and I tried, and I know I sounded so dumb. I just felt dumb every time I tried to speak French.
They like that. They're like, "Yeah, dumb American, but you're gonna submit to our language on your knees. Get your fucking baguette on your knees."
I had a ball gag in my mouth, so I couldn't say anything.
Baguette, ball gag, same thing. To celebrate the event and the recent reopening of movie theaters in France after being closed due to the coronavirus, cinema chain MK2 collaborated with Häagen-Dazs to create Cinema Cinema Cereal, Cinema on the Water. On July 18th at 7:30 p.m., 150 locals will watch Le Grand Bain, a comedy about a group of men who start a synchronized swimming team. Ooh, synchronized swimming movie on the water. I wonder if that's going to go weird. I'm jumping in. If I'm watching a synchronized swimming movie, I cannot make it to that movie without jumping in the water from a boat.
Why would they play this movie there? They're just asking for it.
I'm going in that water.
It better be in 3D.
Is this the screen cap from the movie?
Yeah, you can see all the guys sitting at a pool.
Yeah, it looks like the cut scene from a Bang Bros movie, you know? There's like the lineup waiting.
Bang Bros movie.
Well, yeah, when you get the gangbang movies, the big old movies, the full-on epics where the girls got to do like numerical evaluations of men. There's like the numbers are always like some weird like meme, like 143, the I love you gangbang, or the 666 gangbang. They always do that. Anyways, that's what this is. I know it.
I saw it. Some buddies of mine went to it. This reminds me of some buddies of mine went to. It was a premiere for the Meg, the Jason Statham shark movie. And when they did the premiere for it in Austin, they did it in a lake. Like you were sitting in a lake, like something like either in the water or on a tube, watching the movie, and not figuring that about 45 minutes in, eventually the water is going to get kind of cold, and half the people are drunk. So you might be swimming around in urine watching this movie.
You are.
They tell me that story. I'm like, oh, maybe that's why some of the reviews weren't very good.
I didn't watch the Meg, but I had
I enjoyed it, but I saw it in a theater and I wasn't standing in cold water watching it.
I had somebody like live tweet me the movie while they were watching it on a plane, and it was one of the most entertaining experiences. I was like, I can't watch this movie now because this person just had the best experience ever on a freaking plane and texted me the entire thing. I don't want to ruin this.
Unless you're also watching it on a plane.
Yeah.
Only if I'm on a plane will I check this movie out.
Yeah, I want this to happen, though. We have places in Seattle this could probably be pulled off, right?
Sure, there's plenty of water. I don't know where they would put... They could do it somewhere on Lake Washington. They could set up a big screen.
Lake Washington would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. South Lake Union.
Yeah, it's a much smaller lake, but yeah, it's like calm water.
I imagine they couldn't have a screen that big to like really fill up that much of the lake.
For Sweet Bois.
Oh, thank you, Kitty Screams, for
thank you, Kitty.
Starting off the week towards our goal. We really appreciate it.
Now I can buy my medication.
So you sent me a few movie theater articles. There's this one.
The Hong Kong cinemas to close after third wave of coronavirus. So they're in their third wave.
They're in their third wave. That's crazy.
Well, they did really well in the beginning of this, right? Like I know South Korea was pretty serious, but China was too. Cinemas in Hong Kong are closing their doors again from Wednesday night as the city suffers a third wave of the deadly coronavirus. The move was part of a wave of new measures announced on Monday evening by Chief Executive Carrie Lam in response to a new surge in COVID-19 cases. New social distancing measures will halt restaurant dining from 6 p.m. till 5 a.m. every day and make mask wearing mandatory on public transport at all times.
So should they be reopening theaters at all right now?
I guess it depends on where you're at, but at the same time, it's like I said earlier, it would seem weird that like certain states have them open, certain don't, because I figured if that were the case, nothing would be doing well. Like if a movie can't open, at least like some blockbuster movie can't open everywhere, I would think it would severely underperform. But I was talking to my wife about this, and I said, with the safety precautions that they have in place at, say, like Regal, which is where we go to, and there's a Cinemark nearby too. I was talking to her. I go, weirdly enough, I'd honestly feel safer going to a movie theater than I do going to Walmart. And I go to Walmart like every week.
Yeah, Walmart's always extra gross to me. Every time I walk around Walmart, someone walks by me and coughs like right in my ear. And I'm like, how could you do that? And why me? Why am I the one that you cough by? Why are you so comfortable coughing? I would be afraid to cough in public. I'm so scared.
Yeah, because I have really bad allergies, and I'm always afraid to have allergy symptoms in public because I think that everyone's going to think I have COVID, and the men in the white van are going to come pick me up and take me away to the COVID quarantine.
Rightfully so.
Concentration camp.
No cough.
At a movie theater, you're only really going to be mingling and close to whoever you came with, and there's certainly a lot of spacing between the seats that they're putting in place. You're going to come in contact with a lot more people at a grocery store and touching the same things at a grocery store. So it's weird. Like my thing is sort of like, well, I feel less safe going other places, but I get why someone still wouldn't want to be going to a movie theater.
Yeah.
On Monday, health
Are
authorities
you guys
reported,
planning on going?
I love movies. I love movie theaters.
So they're going to keep...
I'm going to wait it out.
Oh, really? You're going to wait it out completely? Because aren't they going to keep people spaced apart?
I'm going to wait it out 2 weeks.
Haven't you already been going out for Korean barbecue and
That's
stuff
different.
like that? Is it, though?
Yeah, because a movie, like, I don't know. I feel like the air doesn't circulate the same in a movie theater. I feel like it's different.
But at a Korean barbecue, okay. Well,
it's more open area. They got you blocked off different ways. You're in and out there in maybe an hour instead of 2 hours. And maybe I'm overthinking it or underthinking it. I don't know. I did go to the barbecue places. I've had a few steaks. I went to the Keg. I caught up for all the restaurants I didn't go to for 3 months. So I started eating really nice food. Tell myself that I was pretty. Things like that. But
I'll go to the movie theater just so I can say this B thriller about Russell Crowe with road rage was so bad it killed me.
I think Regal right now is just replaying old movies. I think Empire Strikes Back was the #1 movie in America because Regal brought it back. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So are there Regals that are open in some areas then?
In some areas, yeah. I believe California was open, but they're closing it again. I don't know if Regal opened up there, but they are open. There was a movie, I can't remember the name of it now. I went and watched like half of it. I think it was like The Wretched. And it was...
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. I watched half of it at the drive-in theater and then left because it was the second movie, and I was like, I don't want to stay awake.
It was the last #1 movie before like the nationwide lockdown. Because it was independent. It was an independent movie and was the #1 movie with only like $10,000.
Yeah. It was the #1 movie in America with an asterisk.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so weird because like this is the longest that I've gone without going to a movie theater in like probably like 15 years.
Wow.
I probably could have said that after like week 3 of the lockdown because I go see like before all this I would see like 3 movies a week.
Oh yeah, I was doing a 3-movie a week. I was doing 2 movies a day, 3 movies a day sometimes.
You had that one movie pass that was like a universal movie pass, right?
Yeah, the actual movie pass is they gave you this card and you could just buy a ticket at basically any theater, and they were paying for it out of pocket, so they went out of business.
Movie pass?
Yeah, the actual movie pass. I cost them a couple grand. Oops.
And then they tried doing their own movies too. And the movie that they like executive produced and released was Gotti.
John Travolta. His wife just passed, right?
Yeah, I had that. I actually had an article on that.
Kelly Preston dies of breast cancer at 57. She was a bright, beautiful,
and I saw so many assholes on the internet that were like, "Oh, she's a Scientologist." Like calling her out, it's like, okay, I don't know if now's the time to really criticize that.
Yeah, like this is like, yeah, that was really sad. I always liked her a lot. I love John Travolta, but Scientologists, they believe in going to the doctor they're not Christian scientists,
right?
Like if you have cancer, you can go to the doctor and get treatment.
Exactly.
So yeah, it had nothing to do with that.
Kelly Preston has died. She was 57. On the morning of July 12th, 2020, Kelly Preston, adored wife and mother, passed away following a 2-year battle with breast cancer. Her family representative tells People exclusively. Yeah, she chose to keep her fight private. Basically.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh, man.
Same.
But, I mean, she hasn't done a lot of work recently, right? Had she done anything?
The last I saw her in was Gotti. She was in that. And that was 2 years ago, I think. If I saw her in something after that, I can't remember, but she did do that movie.
So she's been battling cancer for 2 years. Gotti came out 2 years ago. What a horrible way to start your battle with cancer.
Yeah.
That's sad. So her last movie was shitty fucking movie pass. It's got all the Razzies right that year, right? It was that bad. It was like the worst movie of the year.
It's entertaining.
That's good. Did you see the one he did with Fred Durst, John Travolta and Fred Durst, The Fanatic?
I did. He was great in that movie. It's one of those movies where it's like, man, I wish this character and this performance was in a way better movie than this. Because I loved him in the film, but that movie, woo! I mean, it was worth watching. It was 100% worth watching.
And then they had Devon Sawa in the role of a lifetime, reprising from when he played Stan in the Eminem music video.
This guy,
the original Fanatic.
This guy died too. I think he was a Mythbusters guy.
Yeah, Grant Amara from the Mythbusters.
Yeah, I saw that hit last night, right before I crashed, and it was like, this one was scary because it was like a brain aneurysm or something, right?
Yeah, he died suddenly after a brain aneurysm. 49 years old.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those really unlucky ways to die. It just happens randomly. Yeah, I knew a kid when I was in elementary school that died from one of those. It just happens, you know. It doesn't. It's just so random.
I know, and I've hit that age because I'm going to be 40 next year. So I'm like
Me too.
starting to. I'm starting to hit that area where I'm like, I should probably eat some better things, like drink some more almond milk, like have some more fruits and things. Luckily, my wife is a vegetarian, so I don't have to go too far to get something better. I'm starting to hit that age where I'm like, maybe slow down on the Five Guys takeout.
Oh man. Yeah, burgers are like my weakness. I love burgers so much.
Same, dude. Oh my God, same here.
The Big Regal in my area, there was 2 Regals actually equally distant from me. The one is like with sit down where they serve you at the table and bring you all the food you want, like burgers, chicken wings, whatever, it's a sit down restaurant theater. And then the other one is right above a Five Guys. So it's troublesome every time.
Mm-hmm. You ever get something like the last time I was at one of those, it was an AMC dine-in, and I ended up getting I I ended up getting like the deluxe nachos or something like that, but we were stuck in the front row for it. But it was a reclining seat theater, so we're reclined all the way back in the front row, and it didn't take me very long to be like, should have gotten something else because I leaned back and it's like the crane machine where you gotta like really luckily drop the nacho right in your mouth.
I ordered a big thing of buffalo chicken wings during the movie A Quiet Place. And I didn't realize what I had done until the movie was like dead silent. And I'm over here crunching on celery, slurping on wings. It was, I thought to myself, I was like, I would hate me if I wasn't me. And I right now, I don't like me right now. But everybody in this theater must hate me because it was gross. Dude. It sounded like I was doing sex stuff. Yeah. It was so nasty.
The same thing happened to me when I went to go see Gravity.
Oh man,
like, there's a lot of Gravity that's really quiet, and I should have thought about that going in. And same thing, dude. I'm sitting there with like the package of like chocolate covered peanuts, and I'm like, it took me like the whole movie to get through the whole thing because I had to wait for something loud to happen to reach
I know.
in and grab it.
When you time your crunching for a loud moment in a movie, I've done that so many times. Is that like some sort of mental disability if you do that? Like if
disability?
Yeah, where you like you can't chew in front of people because you know it's gonna annoy them, or is it like are you just aware?
It might be a phobia. I don't know.
Because I'll sit there and I will just wait to time my damn bite for when there's an explosion.
Or you kind of just because I think this is I do the same thing, man. And I think with me, like it might be that mentally you kind of think it's just as loud to everybody else as it is like inside your head, like as you're chewing down on it and what you're hearing and everything. Like it's like a total mental thing. I have that too. I'm the same exact way.
So I hear so many people slurping and chomping at movie theaters. I went to see Tyler Perry's Halloween, Boo 2, Medea's Halloween, and there was like this family, and this little 9-year-old kid was sitting there burping, farting, slurping on soda, eating popcorn, shitting his pants, laughing his ass off at all the dick and fart jokes that snuck into a Christian movie. And his parents are like, "Oh, it's okay, it's a Christian film." They're just talking about sex and stuff the whole time. The kid's like laughing his ass off, like he should know what a blowjob is. He should know. Why is he laughing? Why the fuck is he laughing? He's like, slurping his popcorn down. Know what a blowjob is. I say, shut.
I'm cool. Dude, oh yeah, those are the best movies to go to, like when you want the audience to be really, really loud. Like I'm disappointed when I go to a Tyler Perry movie and it's a really, really quiet audience. I'm like, well, this isn't the same. This movie's really terrible.
The worst thing about that movie, I think, was that it wasn't the worst movie I saw that week.
Yeah, what was that?
It wasn't even the second worst movie I saw that week in theaters. The worst was I think it was The Snowman. It had Val Kilmer.
Yes.
I think that was the worst. But there was also the George Clooney directed, Matt Damon starring Suburbicon that came out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Suburbicon was worse or not because the theater, it wouldn't play the movie for an hour and a half. It was like the thing was broken. And they finally moved us to a second theater, played it, and then the last 10 minutes of the movie just died on us. It was the worst experience I've ever had at a movie theater. And I think that Suburbicon was worse, but I'm not sure. But they were both definitely a worse experience than watching Boo 2 Medea Halloween while a little 9-year-old kid laughed at dick and fart jokes and slurred popcorn the entire time.
I love it when that happens. When you see so many people ragging on a movie. And when you go see as many movies as like we do, and you're like, that ain't the worst thing playing right now. like last December, when like nationwide everyone was ragging on Cats, I go see Cats, I review it, and I go, yeah, okay, whatever. I'd way rather watch this than Rise of Skywalker.
Wrecked.
Yeah,
Rise of Skywalker was pretty bad. I felt let down.
Cats is at least like ambitious for one, and Cats was at least like, well, I've not seen this before.
I went to see Cats on Christmas right before I got like deathly sick, so half of the movie I was in the bathroom shitting my brains out. That probably made it a better experience. But when it started, my nephew was like, "How long is this movie?" And I told him it was like 4.5 hours, and he just started crying.
Yes.
He was literally crying. And then I went back to see Cats again with somebody else who's like, "I want to see it. It couldn't be that bad." And I'm like, "It's that bad." And they're like, "No, let's see it. Let's see it." I was like, "Okay, I'll go watch it again with you just to see the look on your face." We walked in and we were a little late, so the movie had already started. She looked at the screen and she was like, "I can't do this." And we turned around. We spent like 2 seconds in that theater.
Cats is slightly my cup of tea in that I love musicals, and I also love musicals that I just have the feeling were pitched in the middle of a coked out orgy. So it's like, this movie's giving me everything I want in a musical. I love this.
It's something about when like the songs are just the names of the cats. That pisses me off so much. That gets me the worst. Like, I'm Mr. Tumicles, you like me. It's like, fuck off. This is not a song. I don't know how this is a movie. I don't know how this is a play. I don't know why this exists. I think Broadway's there to troll poor people out of $500 a ticket. Rich people get it for free. I guarantee it. Pisses me off. But
you know,
that was one of my favorite movie experiences last year.
Billy liked The Last Jedi, though.
No, that was the middle one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I thought it was going somewhere. I was like, oh, there's a lot of little hints here. There's a lot of little things this could build into. Are we going to lay rest to the light and the dark side, and the gray is going to rise and show a true balance of the Force after 3 trilogies? Nope. Palpatine's back. Zombie Palpatine's here. And guess what he's got? More ships than you can shake a dick at. But we're still going to try and shake our dicks at it because we got horses riding on the ships now. We got horses. Oh.
See, that's another reason why I would rather watch Cats, because no matter what I thought of like Last Jedi or Force Awakens or something like that, I'm kind of like, I don't need to ever go back to those two because I know that it crashes the landing. So I'm like, I know like none of this is like ends satisfactory in any way, shape, or form. I'll just watch these cats sing about themselves. That's way more successful.
Do you have an opinion on what movie won the biggest with the COVID pandemic? Like they just delivered, not just box office. Like I'm sure like the Trolls 2 movie did amazingly well. Did amazingly well. It did. But then you look at the Wretched and how they got to be #1 movie in America when they shouldn't even been #1 movie you were watching at that moment. Like, is there like another Cinderella story, or would one of those two be like the leader for this? Like,
I think like Scoob might have done fine, because in the case of like Trolls 2 and Scoob, those are ones where it's not so much that it's just part of like Netflix or something like that. It's you go on like Amazon or Vudu or one of those, and you're paying $20 to just watch that movie.
Yeah.
Whereas I think on the other side of that, something that was just like Disney wanted to get rid of it was Artemis Fowl, where they're like, we know that putting this on streaming in a service that people already have purchased, there is no way this is going to recoup this $100+ million cost that we dumped into this. But like, it's got crappy reviews, so now we don't really have to pay much for a marketing budget.
That's not bad, actually. I'm surprised they didn't release the X-Men movie they made with the girl from Game of Thrones. And
I am too.
What are they waiting on that for?
They might as well. Like, similar to that was that movie My Spy, the Dave Bautista one, where he's partnered with a kid. So that was one where, I mean, this didn't make the news about this as much as the New Mutants did, but My Spy was one that got pushed back like several times over the course of a year or so. Finally, it gets its release date, and boom, lockdown.
I saw it at the drive-in theater. That was the first movie I saw when I went back to the drive-in theater.
My Spy?
Yeah, and I was with my niece and nephew, and we enjoyed it. It was bad, but it was it was like the good type of bad. It was like tongue in cheek, shitty, but you're like, I don't care. It's Batista and some sassy little kid. I'm not mad at all at this.
It was just simply because I saw it too. It was just simply one of those movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't any better or any worse than something else from that genre. Like it wasn't nearly as bad as, I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't nearly as bad as like last year's Playing with Fire with John Cena and the
That was the second movie playing at the drive-in theater with My Spy. My niece and nephew would not sit through that. They were like, we're going to leave now.
Did you ever see the Triple H movie where he has like the little girl?
The Chaperone?
Yeah. A lot of those Yeah, it's called The Chaperone. And
it stars Ariel Winters from Modern Family.
Yeah, she's like a little kid in it, probably like 10 years old or something. And
dude,
it's almost like Kindergarten Cop almost.
Does every action star have it in their contract? They have to be in a movie like this? Like,
I think that's just a safe bet movie, right? Like ever since, what was it, Mr. Nanny? Was that the first one? Mr.
Nanny's one of them. There might have even been ones before that.
It's just...
There was The Last Action Hero, Arnold and a little kid.
That was a little later, right? But no, it was 95, I think. 92 maybe. It was early 90s.
Kindergarten Cop was 1990. And Last Action Hero was 93. Oh man, I'm trying to think if there was any earlier ones. Like it's one of those things that it feels like it started with the 80s action heroes. Like you never saw like in the 70s Charles Bronson's with a wisecracking kid in like,
I think Chuck Norris did it too, right?
Chuck Norris had Sidekick.
Yes, Sidekicks.
Was that more of a comedy or that was more serious though, right? Jonathan Brandis was the
Karate Kid knockoff.
Yeah.
There was Cop and a Half with Burt Reynolds.
Yep.
That was good. I remember seeing that in the drive-in theater, yeah. I saw the drive-in theater when I was a little kid. I loved that. I want to watch that again. I bet you that holds up better than Problem Child.
It does.
Yeah.
I like Cop. Cop and a Half's great because it's just 90 minutes of this kid pissing off Burt Reynolds.
he's the greatest little shit-talking kid what is he up to? Tell me something tragic didn't happen to that fucking kid.
Man, just because you brought it up.
I know.
I know he's on Twitter. I know he's on Twitter because when Burt Reynolds passed away, I did a top 10 video on my top 10 Burt Reynolds movies, and hell yeah, I put Cop and a Half on there. Yeah. And on Twitter, I got the video got linked to the kid from Cop and a Half. Like, so I think he hit like on it. I don't think he's.
Was it directed by Henry? It's directed by Henry Winkler.
It is. Oh, that's a good segue. Because we're after our normal show tonight, Billy and I are going to do a live movie review of a movie starring Henry Winkler. It's called The One and Only. It's a pro wrestling movie from the late 70s.
1978.
Yes.
Yeah.
Directed by Carl Reiner.
Yeah, Carl Reiner.
Oh, nice.
Didn't he just pass like last week or something? Or was that...
I thought he passed shortly after.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Okay. Yeah.
It's so weird. I just came across that title earlier too, because I just wrote an episode on The Jerk 2 and was skimming Carl Reiner titles. When you said The One and Only, like something clicked. I was like, yeah. I know I randomly came across that today.
It's got Hervé Villachez in it. We watched like a 2-minute clip of it, and it was very like late 70s. It would not pass today. It was just full of cancelable lines. I was like, oh yeah, we totally have to watch this.
Yeah, we actually have a trailer for it.
A bit of a trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are the reviews? I never saw it. What are the reviews for it? Like
The Wrestler. Well, if you both just tuned in, this is not Queen for a Day. This is wrestling.
It's like a Gorgeous George character.
Is that Henry Winkler?
Yes.
Believe it or not. And this is what the well-dressed wrestler will wear this year. Henry Winkler
story
is The One and Only, a Carl Reiner film, rated PG.
Now showing. Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
That just looks terrible. I'm excited.
I wonder what the reviews are like. I'll look them up on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Academy Award nominee for Best Picture. Why not? It was the 70s. Airport was nominated for Best Picture.
Was Airport 78 or 75?
Airport was 70.
70? Damn it. I don't know.
I think so.
See, my roommate, he's like he's on the spectrum for dates that movies came out. You could ask him any movie, he'll tell you like when it came out. And I pretend I can do that, but I never can. It's always off by like half a decade.
That sweet 70s movie, Jurassic Park.
So there's only an audience score and it's 50%.
Hey, 98 ratings. 49 people were like, hey.
49 people were like, I'm going to make the effort to go on Rotten Tomatoes and let my opinion known on this film.
Yeah, 49 were like, I'm going to let them know I liked it. And 49 were like, I'm going to let them know I did not like it. If only... If only 50 people had an opinion on liking it or hating it,
I always assume those people, for a movie like that, I always assume those people are like, that's what they do to kill time at work. They just scroll through a list of like hundreds of movies on Rotten Tomatoes. They're like, yeah, I saw this, I saw this, didn't like. I'm always saying that because I used to do that shit when I worked data entry like 15 years ago.
So... I forgot this had happened, and then because I saw it a few days ago, and I was like, oh, whatever, the Will Smith and Jada Pinkett thing. It's like really uncomfortable to watch. It was so uncomfortable to watch that I kind of forgot that it even existed, and then we were looking for content. And you mentioned it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that happened.
It's been all over Twitter.
Yeah, I've seen it.
The kids have been talking about these two lovebirds.
Willa and Jada are over party.
Yeah.
To our cover story, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith got candid on Red Table Talk, confirming that Jada had a relationship with another man when the duo was separated. Take a look. One of Hollywood's most beloved couples, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, addressing together a shocking chapter of their marriage.
So that's what we're going to start with. This is a very personal journey.
Then why are they doing this?
Because Twitter is talking about it and they feel like they should get out ahead of it.
And they did handle it with humor. Like, I'll say that. Like, I saw a little bit of it, and there were a couple. I was simultaneously like, "This is none of my business," and was also like, "But they're being funny about it."
Yeah.
That became very public.
In this episode of Red Table Talk, a series.
She used to be the singer of a metal band at one point.
Jada?
Yeah, it was called.
Really?
Yeah, it was called Simple Wisdom. I saw them play in front of a crowd of like nobody.
When she was
at
like
one point.
when she was like a teenager, she went to school with Tupac.
Yeah.
They did ballerina stuff together.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking. Like, she was already super famous and married to Will Smith.
Yeah.
She was like trying to be in a metal band as a side project.
I always when I worked down in LA, Hollywood area and stuff, I would always hear like rumors of people saying,
oh yeah, Wicked Wisdom. I said Simple Wisdom.
Wicked Wisdom?
Wicked Wisdom. Yeah.
I'd hear like rumors that Will Smith was like open with Jada in a relationship and he would like go home with boys. And it was always rumors. So like I would never speak on it.
I'd always heard that like open relationship rumors like as well. I mean, granted, it's another thing I just heard via Twitter, but like when this was trending, I was like, oh yeah, it seems like it makes sense. I feel like I've heard rumors about this before.
And then in this interview, I don't know if they're going to get to the part where she refers to her relationship with August Alsina, the rapper or whatever that they brought into, or that she brought into the fold, as an entanglement. And Will's like, entanglement? And then an entanglement. And everybody's been like picking on her for saying entanglement.
It is weird though.
If you know about like poly relationships, they like refer to their offshoot relationships as entanglements. It's like the lingo. So I think that we're dealing with people right now who are trying to, they live a poly lifestyle, but they know that poly isn't popular. So they're trying to curb. They're trying to curb based on the public's perception, And when she says entanglement, I gotta believe that Will knows what an entanglement is.
Hosted by
He pretends not to. Then
I imagine he pretends not to because he's like, are we really going to bring in vernacular to the public when we're trying to play off that we were on a split or whatever? I don't believe this we were split thing. This is all just cover up. They've been open the entire time.
Yeah, and
I believe that. I don't know. I could be wrong. A speculation. Wicked Wisdom is an American new metal band from Los Angeles, California, formed by Jada Pinkett Smith in 2002.
Yeah, look at her.
Yeah,
you get juice of orange on those abs.
I would try. I would definitely try.
Pinkett Smith, known for its candid conversations, she let her husband ask the tough questions.
So what happened, Jada?
Following weeks of speculation, the superstars confirming that while the two were briefly separated, Jada entered a relationship with singer August Alsina.
I think
the first time I ever saw her was in Demon Night. Have you ever seen that?
Mine was a low down dirty shame.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I the first time I recognized her because she was like the one person that survived in the movie Demon Night, the Tales from the Crypt movie.
I remember watching it, I think, but I don't remember it at all.
That's a fun movie. Like Billy Zane's having a great time in that film.
Yeah, I remember it had a great soundtrack too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that movie's fun. This whole back and forth between. I love that he's talking like a dad. Like when the kid's done something wrong and he's like, all right, now what did you do, Jada? Like he knows the answer, but he's like waiting for like a stern TV dad lecture.
You need to say clearly what happened.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a relationship.
The 51-year-old actor opening up about
entanglement literally is like one of the words they use in poly relationships to describe offshoot relationships. Primary, secondary entanglements. It's a vernacular. So they're speaking. She's speaking like somebody who is definitely aware of poly and engages in it. And Will's maybe calling her on it because, this is for the public, not for someone on the inside. It's like using an insider term if you're into pro wrestling, like saying, this is a heel or a face. He's doing the job. This is kayfabe. And it's like nobody knows these words unless they're a fucking wrestling nerd. Nobody knows these words unless they're a poly nerd, So keep on script, Jada. This is for the people. That's how I'm reading it.
Marital romance.
I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
Yeah, like the fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
When couples get to the point where...
All right, yeah, I don't care about what this lady has to say.
We now go live to my 6th grade English teacher.
Right.
Reflecting on their journey as a couple.
There's a real power in just knowing somebody's riding with you.
Wasn't it you that said they were Scientologist adjacent?
Yeah, they weren't they for a while?
I don't know. Well, I mean,
In the early 2000s?
They're Hollywood stars, right? So they're adjacent anyway.
But I remember them asking Will if he was a Scientologist at some point. He was like, if I was, my grandmother would roll over in her grave.
Was he hanging out with Tom Cruise or something?
I think it was like the whole crew. Yeah, I could be.
I think that they donated to a couple of schools that maybe teach some Scientology stuff. But as for them actually being practicing, there's been a lot of like former Scientologists, like Leah Remini, I think is one, who was like, now they're not, even though you can kind of tell, which I believe that they're most likely not, but you can kind of tell at least that they know a little bit about it. If you've seen his movie After Earth, there's a few similarities to different lore that's in that movie and like some Scientology.
Was After Earth M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah, but it was like a director for hire kind of thing. It was a total like Will Smith like vanity project.
Okay. Interesting.
Like M. Night was kind of in a slump and was like, yeah, I'll be I'll go ahead and put my name on this while Will Smith backseat directs.
No matter what.
Yeah.
And you really can't know that
until you go
through some stuff.
The fact that Will and Jada could talk about what they went through publicly really just shows how solid their marriage is.
Okay. You sent me this too, which I thought was kind of hilarious.
I think so. I mean, because this is your red table and you like brought yourself to the red table. I think you need to say clearly what happened.
Entanglement with August. Entanglement with August.
An entanglement?
Yeah, with August. Entanglement with August. Entanglement with August. Entanglement with August.
An entanglement?
Yeah, with August. An entanglement with August.
Did you get the other one?
I don't know.
The other one hits harder. Just saying, there's like I don't know if there's 87 remixes of this Entanglement, but there was a couple. And this one's more like a dance club mix. The other one's like if you want to punch somebody.
So they didn't point it out in these news stories, but on Twitter, I saw everybody posting Will's eyes, saying that his eyes looked, like they were welling up. Was that real, or was that...
Was he really crying?
Yeah.
There wasn't really a moment to hang on to with him crying, but like his eyes did look heavy at certain times. I mean, he's an actor though.
Extremely tired.
Yeah. Tired of Jada's shit.
That was my favorite thing about it. Corey Coleman pointed this out on Double Toasted too, where like Jada is saying... is almost speaking like a lecture, kind of like a professor, like you were saying, or words like entanglement and things like that. Whereas Will Smith is more so like going, I'm just mad.
Yeah.
Like he's more like the straightforward, laid back one.
Yeah. It's so weird because like really, like I think everybody said, it's their relationship. Why do we even care? But we do, and the world can't go outside. So.
I don't care that much. I feel bad that they felt the need to do this because they shouldn't have to.
I feel bad if they are poly and have to hide that because it just opens up more public scrutiny. I've always heard that they were. I've always heard that they were poly. That was the rumor. And this coming out, I wasn't like surprised or anything about it because I just assumed this was a thing they did. And then when they're talking about it, they're like, we were broken up at the time. Like, maybe they were. I don't know their life. I always assumed the other side. And now I'm like, I don't care about Jada and Will Smith's sexual relationship, but I would like to know if they were poly and they could speak about
Why
it,
do you want to know?
speak about it publicly and make it more normalized.
Okay.
They should like it's coming out of the closet effectively
so why
for
do
people in polyamorous relationships.
It's not their responsibility to do that.
It's not their responsibility, but it'd be cool if they were open about it. But now if they're not, and I'm just speculating in their sex life, I look like the imbecile. We need more.
What else is new?
I don't know.
I need that perfect continuity in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't speculate on those kind of things because I don't know, and it's none of my business. Like
I part of me is like I would say like, well, people are at home, they're bored, and here's some celebrity dirt, some celebrity gossip. It's like I say that, but I'm like, we live in a world where this would have trended regardless of the lockdown going on.
Yeah. Then just, what was it, 2 weeks ago, Jada was all over the news calling out Shane Dawson. And now we forgot about Shane Dawson. We're targeting her now. It's like shit.
Was
just
it
passing the baton of shame?
It was Jada and Willow.
Jada and Jaden. Yeah, the Jades.
Their names.
The Jade Smiths were calling out Shane Dawson. And I don't know, Willow Smith doesn't really do anything right now. I haven't seen her in the news. It's probably good that she got in and out of the industry, probably made enough money to live off of the rest of her life.
She doesn't need to make her own money.
But she did when she was 11.
I mean, she did.
I assume she got to keep all that money.
Macaulay Culkin didn't get to keep all of his money.
If only Macaulay Culkin's parents were rich and famous, he'd be set.
Right.
He'd be set. But
our next red table discussion with Macaulay Culkin and his parents.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Your mother and I got into an entanglement
with your bank account.
So this was an interesting article that you sent me. X-Men's worst villain was a hero to Bush-era Republicans.
Yeah, I saw this come up And
Senator Kelly?
Senator Kelly, he was the guy from the first X-Men movie. He was like aqua-based powers or whatever.
Yeah.
They turned like they made him a
Magneto
mutant.
turned him into a mutant.
Yeah, he hated mutants. And then
Senator
Magneto-
Kelly was in the animated series too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I vaguely remember that. When X-Men kicked off the modern superhero movie era on July 14th, 2000, Senator Robert Kelly felt like the worst kind of U.S. politician. Reactionary, xenophobic, and nationalistic with an anti-mutant agenda. 20 years later, he'd probably be one of the more moderate members of the modern Republican Party. Damn. But even in the early 2000s, this fictional conservative legislator from the Marvel Universe had his fans in Congress. And Bruce Davidson, who played Kelly in X-Men, tells Inverse that after the film came out, he was often sent to lobby Republican politicians on behalf of the entertainment industry for that exact reason. I was spending a lot of time in Washington with the Creative Coalition campaigning for the arts, and they would only send me into the Republican offices because the Republicans would all go nuts over Senator Kelly, Davidson says.
Are you serious?
It was great talking to Brownback and his people about, oh yeah, Senator Kelly, I can identify with this guy.
Are you serious? Hold on. So the actor that played Senator Kelly would go to Washington
to lobby for the arts with Republicans who notoriously would not give any money to the arts.
Oh, come on.
That's what they're saying. Davidson adds that, like more conservatives, Brownback was a brick wall when it came to funding the arts, but that the senator's aides loved Senator Kelly. In general, his role as the genocidal X-Men villain was a useful door opener in those Bush years.
They do the same thing to Gary Shandling because of Captain America. They kept whispering to me, "Hail Hydra."
I don't even know what to say about this. This sounds kind of out there.
Yeah. Why does Mike Pence always look like he's about to introduce legislation to outlaw the X-Men?
Oh, okay. I see it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay.
Well, on the plus side, it's like, well, at least they seem to know a lot about the X-Men movie lore. These Republican politicians do, I guess.
Yeah. Apparently. Yeah. Remember in X-Men they had Genosha.
That was the island Magneto made?
It was like, the garbage island.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Everybody jokes about Wakanda being an ethno state, but Genosha definitely was.
Yes.
Definitely was. But yeah, this is just a weird story that came up today. I guess it's the 20th anniversary of the X-Men movie coming out. So
yeah.
I think Genosha was
20
like
years. Damn.
Yeah, today, 20 years ago today.
I think Genosha was like a concentration camp, actually.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Not an ethno state. I take it back.
No, I think. Anyway.
The Isle of Dogs, however, totally.
Yeah.
That was the Isle of Dogs, Wes Anderson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching it. I remember liking it. But that's about it. You give me puppy dogs and stop motion animation and I'm happy.
That's the most I can say about a lot of movies. Seeing so many movies, so many during a week. Whenever like my mom or somebody brings up, like, "Did you see this movie?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I remember liking that." I cannot tell you much more else about it other than that.
Yeah.
So I pulled up. We haven't done our stupid ad segment in a while, so I thought we'd do that. Here's Here's a commercial I saw on Twitter today. They paid a celebrity to be in their Greek restaurant ad.
Oh.
It make you want to slap your mama. Pop Cristo's got the best motherfucking gyros you ever ate in your life. So good. Make one think to you got to have Peters. Pop Cristo Peters.
Is this Ja Rule?
Yes.
So the Fire
Would
Festival
I be without you?
Fire Festival 2 was canceled because of COVID, huh? So he needs new work.
And he was already there. He was the one lonely guy drinking up at the bar at this place.
What would I be without Greek food?
Oh man.
I'm gonna just give you a rundown of some of my favorites. They got.
He's reading off the phone. No, this is funny. This is great.
Tzatziki. Hold on. Octopi tequila. Well, whatever. But it's good. Abolano soup. Cava pizza. And they got wine too. I'm telling you, come on down to Papa Cristo's. You can't even pronounce the food. It's so goddamn good. Show them what you looking with, Papa. Show them how you do it.
Hey, Papa. Hey, where are you? Papa Cristo, are you here? Papa Cristo, are you here?
Come on down to Papa Cristo's, 2771 West Boulevard, Pico. Or you can call right now and get it delivered. Papa Cristo's. Ooh, make you want to do the dance. Opa!
Opa! Yeah,
That's a good ad. I would remember this, and I would go to this place just because of that.
It's a great ad. I want to know what his relationship is with this Greek restaurant.
They pay him.
I was to guess like maybe he happened to be there, or it's a place he already kind of goes to sometimes.
Yeah, or maybe they're like in the drug trade together. And there's got to be something. If I was the FBI, I would look at his relationship with this company, because there's no amount of money they could afford that I would imagine could get Ja Rule to do that.
How do you like?
He insisted he wanted his headshot on their wall, and they're like, "Okay, we'll put your headshot on the wall. Just one thing, you got to be in our commercial."
If I saw this with DMX, I would be like, "Okay, I could see this happening to DMX," but I
Steven
guess
Seagal.
I couldn't eat at a restaurant I know Steven Seagal ate at. I'd be like, no, I'm good.
You'll have to stop eating at all restaurants.
If he goes to Chipotle, dude, if we find out he likes Chipotle more than Qdoba, I have to rethink my life. I can't live like that.
We are a Van Damme restaurant.
Dude, someone sent this to me, and they told me that you need to see it.
Oh.
This is a Miller Lite commercial from 1987.
Oh, no.
Rap musicians like to think the best light beer is the one we drink. And every rapping cat I know drinks Miller Lite. Ain't that so? Taste flavor, that's Miller. Taste flavor, that's Miller. Life's got body, life's got soul. Don't stop me now, I'm on a roll. Get it right, there's only one light beer for Miller Lite.
Was that the actual Fat Boys behind the guy in the suit?
It looked like it. If it wasn't, and that was Joe Piscopo.
Was that Joe
Thank
Piscopo?
you. I was just about to ask. Like, is that Joe Piscopo?
That was Joe Piscopo, and I'm pretty sure that was the real Fat Boys. The only thing that makes me think it might not be the real Fat Boys is I know Joe Piscopo would do something with lookalikes. He is the most pathetic man, and I hate saying this because I'm pretty sure his career must have been pushed by the mafia or something. I could get whacked for saying this because I don't understand how else he's got a career like he had. But Joe Piscopo is a fucking crying shame of a human being. Have you watched the things he's put out?
No, I just knew that he got really big as a bodybuilder.
He's got hit after hit of drizzling shits. There's this live TV show deal he had. I think it was with HBO or something. He's always getting these deals that he should not have. And he brought his girlfriend at the time on to sing her a song he wrote, and his hands are all clammy. He's like, I just threw this together. I didn't really, I just kind of something I wrote for my girl. And I told her I'd sing it for her. So I'm gonna get up here and I'm gonna sing it for her, just for her. So if you guys could bear with me, it's kind of cheesy, just bear with me. He starts singing it, and he's got a full produced fucking music video to go along with it. Like, he put a lot of time and work into this, and he's over there crying about how pathetic it is, and it is pathetic. Like, the girl, I don't know. The girl doesn't love him.
How did Joe Piscopo hurt you?
By existing.
Okay.
I'll be the one who sticks up for Joe Piscopo. I like Joe Piscopo.
Do it.
He was on Star Trek: The Next Generation for an episode, by the way.
He did. There was some good stuff in the early, when he got his start on Saturday Night Live. He and Eddie Murphy were really good together on that. And Dead Heat, he had a couple of decent flicks with Dead Heat and Johnny Dangerously. Maybe it was somewhere around that Miller music video where things maybe started taking a little bit of a turn.
That's when he started taking the roids.
He was the bad guy in Sidekicks. I liked him in that.
How did we get back to Sidekicks?
I know, right?
Yeah.
It all comes back to Sidekicks.
The Sidekicks universe is bigger than the Saint Elsewhere universe.
Yes. No. I used to like him on Saturday Night Live, but I mean, we're going back like.
But it was like 1 year on Saturday Night Live, right?
He was on there.
Do what?
It was 1 year on Saturday Night Live.
I think he was on there for more than 1
No,
year.
it was more.
Was it 5
because
years?
It was him and it was Eddie Murphy that were really credited for bringing viewers back, because this was the 1980 season.
Yeah,
when it was
Anthony
in a
Michael
big-
Hall, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
that was
that's-
1985.
Oh, okay.
Robert Downey was
19
1 year, right? Like that's
That was 85. 1980 was the season that had like Gilbert Gottfried and Denny Dillon and Charles Rocket, and the two standouts, the only ones that survived into the next season, were Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo, and they were ones that had good reviews and like viewers came back for them largely, that boosted ratings back up. But Eddie Murphy ended up having a much more larger like movie career, of course.
Yeah,
than
I
Joe
think
Piscopo.
Eddie Murphy carried Joe Piscopo.
Joe Piscopo did a
Piscopo
great
was
Frank
good on
Sinatra.
He was a good Sinatra. The sketch with he's Sinatra and Eddie Murphy as Stevie Wonder, that was a good one.
Yep.
But I mean, it's one of those deals where it's like, you're like, oh, I can name some really great things he's done, but you got to go back like 40 years. So I couldn't tell you what he's done in the past 10 years.
Oh, there's a movie trailer Joe Piscopo came out with that is terrible. We should watch it on the show. I'm like, we should watch it right now.
What's the movie?
I'm gonna look it up real quick because I don't remember the name of the movie. We're gonna find it. We're gonna play it. Everybody's gonna cry.
I'm gonna play this ad while you're looking at it.
Yo, Gregory, chew on this.
You'll never cut the mustard, mean winner.
Were these toys? I had some of these toys. I had the pizza.
And your lunch.
I love Food Fighters.
Fire! What's going on?
I think I had the donut too.
This food again, Mom.
Food fighters, figures and combat carton each sold separately. Toys do not walk and talk.
Yeah, the Food Fighters.
They had
are
to
cool.
tell you that the toys don't walk and talk on their own.
We're playing with our food again, Mom. We've been waiting hours for you to come in so we could say that.
Yeah.
Food Fighters were cool toys.
Here's another one that Billy will recognize.
Pogs, yes.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the most 90s things I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah, dude. Junior high all over again.
It's about to give me a seizure.
Yeah, I was a Pog kingpin as a kid. Like, that was my life. I got my first Game Boy off of hustling Pogs. I traded a big stack of Pogs for a Game Boy with Roger Rabbit video game in it, and I got rid of that, got Tetris. My life was complete until I turned 12 and found Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah, I think I was already probably into Texas Hold'em by then. If I tried bringing Pogs into the casino, I'd always get thrown out. I had a few. I didn't collect them. Everyone else in class did, but I don't know. Maybe I was sticking with Domino Rally. I don't know.
Domino Rally was fun. It took forever to set up, but the payoff was just so great.
Yeah, I think I set it up once. Played it one time. All right, I'm sending you the trailer. It should be on the Discord in just a second. It's called How Sweet It Is, starring Joe Piscopo, and it's got Erica Christensen in it. And
it's a new movie?
I think it came out in 2013.
Okay.
So this is like recent Piscopo, and it's a shit show.
A shit show.
You're gonna watch this trailer and you're gonna hate Joe Piscopo as much as I do. I hope, or else I look like a psycho.
Do you know what I did before this? Yeah, you were a degenerate gambler. Before that, I was a director.
Fancy that. We should wear gloves when we do this.
Jack Cosmo.
I haven't been in the business in 10 years.
Jack Cosmo. Jack Cosmo!
I'm sorry, is there something that you're trying to tell me?
I have in mind an idea for a show.
Oh, God.
This is going to be your comeback.
You gotta adjust for the wind, boss.
If you kill me, you'll never get your...
I don't see what Joe Piscopo's doing wrong here.
What? Watch.
I don't see anything wrong with Joe Piscopo's
Because we haven't hit critical mass yet.
I got plenty of money. What I don't have is entertainment.
It's like looking into the eyes of God. You want me to write and direct an original musical using deadbeats and criminals?
Is that or is that not a succinct summation of the situation?
Oh, yeah, what did he say? Well, yeah.
Clifton Thompson, he owes us for drugs.
First, give me $50 so I can buy crack. Ooh, that would be a very, very, very nice thing.
I am the boss of you. I am the boss of you.
10 years ago, this guy was huge.
10 years ago, my wife didn't look like her mother.
Your father called.
You know, it'd be helpful if we can get somebody in that theater.
The estrogen, it was good, I swear.
I still don't see Joe Piscopo doing anything wrong.
Bullshit. He exists.
Sam Piscopo, I think, looks fine in this.
Yeah.
You guys are trolling me, right?
No, we're
No,
not.
You're
no.
messing with me.
No.
It makes me wish the rest of the movie looked better. I'm
Right.
like Piscopo. I think he looks like he's doing all right, especially compared to the Miller thing we just watched.
Yep, I agree.
The musical now has a voice.
This is where it gets cringe.
Your dad is writing again.
Good for him.
No, not so much. Your dad isn't doing so great. He's trying. Everyone deserves a second chance.
Second, try again.
Third.
Higher.
Okay, he's really trying.
Welcome to showbiz, kid.
Welcome to Showbiz, kid. I don't know, how is your butthole not puckering watching this? This bothers me. I obviously have an irrational hatred of Joe Piscopo.
Yeah, I think you do.
And I never noticed this until everybody's like just sitting here like, oh, this is just a movie. And I'm like, no, it's the worst thing ever.
It looks like it's in the genre. Like it doesn't even look that great, but it makes me be like, oh, I like seeing Joe Piscopo and stuff. Like,
yeah,
this is in the genre of movie where like everyone kind of wants their own Birdman, like
Birdman,
like an actor who was big like a while ago playing somebody who's in the arts who was popular decades ago. Like, this looks like it's in that genre of like comeback exploitation.
Comeback exploitation film.
Man.
Yeah. I like that term.
Have you seen there was the Burt Reynolds movie that came out before he died?
I was just thinking about that. Like when I was talking about with this, that I would put in that category too.
Yeah.
It's like The Last Movie Star is what it's called.
Yeah, The Last Movie Star. Did you see the one with Sam Elliott that came out around that time as well? I think it was called The Hero. I think it was called. It's basically the Burt Reynolds one is just like a shoddy copycat of the Sam Elliott one. Like almost like scene for scene. It's crazy how much of a copycat it is. The Sam Elliott one's like a really well done movie, and the Burt Reynolds one is just like, oh, poor Burt. This is like Weekend at Bernie's, but with Burt Reynolds before he dies.
There was one too where it was Richard Dreyfuss and Chevy Chase, where it was like a road movie.
Okay.
Where like Richard Dreyfuss was living in an old age home and was like a former stand-up comedian, and then they hit the road and do like shows together or something. Which is funny because Chevy Chase was also in the Burt Reynolds one.
Yeah. I remember that Chevy Chase
at the video store now. Comeback exploitation.
Yes.
Someone says I like Sam Elliott, but it seems like he plays the same role in every movie. Why play a second role? It's the only role he needs. You're like, hey, we need a Sam Elliott type.
The most different one was Frogs because he didn't have a mustache in that one.
Yeah, like you don't want to hire Sam Elliott to have him play anything else but Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
If I go to see a movie with Sam Elliott in it and he's playing, I don't know, what else could he play? I can't think of a role he could play other than him that wouldn't piss me off. If
he's playing like Pope John Paul II.
Yeah, or if he's playing Joe Piscopo, like at that point in time, I would rethink living. I'd be like, nope, nope, I don't want him to play Joe Piscopo. I would rather be eternally slumbered. I try and say that.
I will make a movie with Joe Piscopo. You'll be the first one that I send a screener to.
Sick. Why would you do this?
You're like, I'm going right to Rotten Tomatoes and lowering that audience score.
I'll sign up for Rotten Tomatoes just for that. Well, I finally lost my Rotten Tomatoes virginity. I used to talk a lot of shit about Joey Buttafuoco, and then I wound up on an RV with him one time, and I just he was like really nice to me, and I felt bad.
Yeah.
I just like, as I'm talking shit about Piscopo right now, I can just imagine I'm gonna show up with Piscopo somewhere. He's gonna be a sweet old man. I'm gonna feel really bad for talking trash about him. I'm just having that feeling right now. It's gonna happen. And I feel bad now. I don't know what's going on. This might be a mental disability where I feel bad for hurting other people's feelings. I'm not sure.
So you'll finally see that movie, how sweet it is, and you'll be like, "Ooh, I want to get really mad at this movie, but oh man, he bought me some drinks at a TGI Fridays. He was really nice."
Yeah. If Joe Piscopo shows up to a TGI Fridays and gets me like an appetizer and a beverage, I'm gonna flip flop. That's how sick I am. Like all it takes is food. You know how many girls I fell in love with at a drive-through fast food window, and I only see her for like 2 minutes until I get my food. It's all it takes is feeding me. That's a problem. I have the worst kink.
Oh, you factor fast food into that? Absolutely.
Yeah. I had my first crush was the Wendy's sign. Some about redheads with pigtails and day-old cheeseburger chili.
And now they have the actual like Wendy's spokeswoman is like that redheaded model.
Yeah, what are they trying to do to me? They're just trying to lock me down. That's not cool, Wendy's. I see your tactics. Trying to hold me down. But it's okay.
Oh, now I no longer have to masturbate to the Burger King.
Yeah, if you had to, let's say if you're married, right?
Yeah,
you're married. So if your wife had to wear either the Burger King helmet or the Jack in the Box, are you familiar with Jack in the Box? Do they have those in Chicago?
Oh yeah.
Or a Jack in the Box helmet, or the Ronald McDonald face paint for a year every time you made love, what would you settle for?
The Ronald McDonald face paint.
Yeah, it makes for more passionate kisses, I suppose, because you're not kissing a plastic head.
Jack in the Box, I could poke my eye out.
True.
I don't even know if I could concentrate long enough on the Burger King thing to even get like half of an erection.
Yeah. So I was thinking
that would just feel like I'm like committing necrophilia or something.
Damn it.
The Ronald McDonald clown. Yeah, that I could.
Now, how about this? Condoms that come in like a dipping sauce packet instead of like a regular condom packet, and so the lubricant has like an essence of sweet and sour or something. Would that sell really well?
Yes. Oh, yeah, it would, because I would buy it by the. I've used condoms in a long time, but I would go back to uncomfortable ass condoms if they smelled like McDonald's sweet and sour.
Yeah, you rip that open. It's got the sweet and sour lubricant. I think we got to go that direction in this world. And I don't know why I gave that tidbit away for free. Maybe easy come, easy go. I should have held on to that one.
The hot mustard and oh yeah.
That'd be good money right there. I don't know why. If someone does that, just like tell me you got it from me, so I don't get into my old age thinking you stole it from me. I don't need the money or the accolades. Just let me know that I'm not crazy. There's like so many things.
Then I actually put the hot mustard one on. I'm like, oh wait, shit, it burns.
This was a bad idea. The Chinese hot mustard.
Wow, shades of Trump.
What?
It was the hot mustard that hurt you, therefore it's the Chinese hot mustard, just like Trump calling it the Chinese virus, huh?
I just think Chinese hot mustard should get credit where it's due.
Disgusting racist.
That's the hot mustard I go to when I want to clear my sinuses. The Chinese hot mustard.
Sure.
I don't want that
you
bullshit.
You can backpedal now all you'd like.
This isn't backpedaling. This is like pedaling that boat to the drive-in theater on the Paris Lake.
Here's a Taco Bell commercial for the release of Star Trek 3.
Head for Taco Bell at warp speed and start collecting Star Trek 3 glasses. Beam home Spock.
I have a set of Return of the Jedi glasses that I got from it might have been Burger King. And they were actual glass.
Yeah,
dude, it worked out so well that I'm like doing this from inside this closet because look what I just reached over and grabbed the Taco Bell 98 Godzilla cup holder.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Because of course this would just randomly be in my closet.
I bought like 8 sets of the Lord of the Rings Burger King glasses. They were like the actual glass and they lit up. I bought 8 sets of them, and then when I moved, my grandmama's church came in to clear out the garage of all the old shit. They stole all my glasses. The church got me.
I probably still in one of these in here. The set, was it Burger King or McDonald's that had the Batman Forever glasses?
That was McDonald's.
There was McDonald's. Yeah, I have a couple of those sitting around somewhere.
Yeah, I had the Robin one for way too long, and I think the Two-Face one broke. I remember breaking the Two-Face one. Those are definitely McDonald's. McDonald's also did the Flintstone glasses, the similar design. Those were great. They had like the Viva Rock. I don't know if they had Viva Rock Vegas, but they had like the rock designs on them.
Yeah,
they were cute little cups. I like that.
Klingon treachery. The secret of Valtrapan. And fate of the Enterprise.
I think this is the Christopher Lloyd Star Trek movie where he played a Klingon in it.
3, yeah.
Star Trek 3 glasses.
Yeah, the search for Spock.
Hurry and buy this week's glass. Spock lives for just 69 cents with the purchase of a large or medium soft drink every night.
Dude, I love how like all the ads for that movie just spoiled the shit out of it. Like, not even just the Spock thing, but the Enterprise blowing up in the film.
Damn.
Yep. Yeah, because Spock is dead at the beginning of the movie. So showing Spock as an adult in the movie shows that he comes back to life.
You're like, you leave that theater, you're like, yeah, too bad I saw everything coming from the Taco Bell ad I saw on TV.
They didn't have spoiler alert back then. Oh, I remember seeing this one when I was a kid.
Viper armed. Protected by Viper. Stand back.
Uh-oh.
Some early CGI.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
Viper. No one dares come close.
For information and a brochure, call 1-800-677-9993.
It's a car alarm.
Yeah.
Dude, I do remember that. Yeah. That looks like one of those fake commercials from RoboCop.
It looks like it, but I remember seeing it on like local TV. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jenny Jones.
Yeah, basically the kind of ads they'd show during the daytime TV.
Like, it feels like the idea for that came from somebody doing that as a prank. Like, someone just hated a guy they worked with and put a snake in their car. But then the light bulb hit. Like, wait a minute, I got it. I got the pitch for the commercial.
It sounds like some mafia stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Joe Piscopo's gonna put a snake in my car.
Didn't Joe Exotic send snakes to Carol Baskin in the mail?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the mailbox, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of messed
They're
up.
animal handlers. It's fine.
It's a classic Joshin.
Classic Joshin.
We're just joshing.
Good morning, Mr. Field. Diagnosis: congestion, runny nose, sneezing. Bad cold.
No kidding. They knew exactly what the future would be like.
Yeah, the COVID. Now that you've fingerprinted and gotten your mark of the beast, you can go travel to any location within the quadrants of the not even United States, it's the divided states of whatever it's going to end up being, the divided territories. They're going to have the king of Texas. I'm in for it.
Cold and allergy relief. New Contact 12-hour caplets. So advanced it helps stop the runny nose Sudafed can't and works twice as long as Actifed tablets. New 12-hour caplets. Perhaps nothing will ever beat Contact's relief.
You're welcome.
Until there's a cure, there's Contact.
Actually, Billy, according to Star Trek, what will happen is that we will be plunged into World War III, and there will be a third there will be a nuclear holocaust in World War III, and then in April 5th of 2063, the first warp ship will fly, and the Vulcans will see us and land in Montana and bring us into a new utopian age.
But dude, as long as we have Contact, our noses won't be runny at least.
Contact.
3, 2, 1, Contact.
Here's a old Funko Land commercial.
This is how most stores feel about buying your old video games.
Can
This
Brad
is how
tell
we feel.
Dusty the
Oh, I
cockatiel
remember
that he's
this.
a beautiful bird?
Could you tell Dusty the cockatiel that he's a beautiful bird?
What? Who, me?
Yeah, Brad.
Sorry.
What was the name again?
Dusty the cockatiel.
Dusty the cockatoo, still to this day a beautiful bird.
Yep.
Yeah.
Funcoland, more video games than anybody else. And
Even Sinbad agrees, by the way. The guy who owns Dusty pays random celebrities on their cameos to tell Dusty that they're beautiful birds.
Look,
So
I'm not saying Dusty is the most beautiful bird, but I'm saying the money is there.
price. This is how most stores feel about letting you try their video games. This is how we feel. Funcoland, more video games than anybody else at half the...
Did GameStop buy out Funko Land? Is that what happened?
I'm trying to remember.
I know we had Babbage's too.
But I don't remember
Babbage's was in the Midwest when I lived there.
Was Funcoland owned by Hollywood Video, or was that something entirely different? I can't.
Game Crazy?
Game Crazy. That might
I
have been the
remember
Hollywood Video
the
connection.
horrible training video for Game Crazy that leaked out there. It's awful.
I worked at a Hollywood Video and a Game Crazy, and one of the training videos was a parody of Jackass, and it was called Knuckleheads with Johnny Milwaukee or something. Wherever the home base is for Hollywood Video, that's what he was named after. And it's like, we'll teach you how to use a razor blade, and he accidentally saws his hand off, like you would see on Jackass. Apparently, his little limbs being sewn off left and right.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess Funcoland, I just looked it up, was totally bought out by GameStop in the 90s.
Okay.
So.
Price. This is how much most stores charge for video games. This is how much we charge. Funcoland, more video games than anybody else at half the price.
Wow.
I still paid $50 for Bayou Billy, you asshole.
Bayou Billy, oh my God. They hyped up that game so much. And it was so bad.
I was lucky. Like, literally, like the wrestling games would get me through every year, and I'd know I have to buy one game a year because nothing else would take my
Bayou
attention
Billy
away
was
from it.
like an old NES game
Okay.
that got hyped up so big because it was supposed to be like multiple games in one. You know, there was so many like different different scenarios in the game, but it was so bad.
It was one of those where it's fine when you play it in other countries, but when you play it here, they made it 100 times harder. So you would go back to the video store and want to rent it more, so you couldn't beat it. And it's like damn near impossible. You couldn't even get good enough to like get to the levels where you needed the light gun.
Oh. Scam.
Yeah, there's a part that's a side-scrolling beat 'em up, and then there's a part that's like rail shooting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's
in
a
theory,
driving.
it should be great.
In theory, it sounded really cool. I remember seeing it in Nintendo Power back in the day. And
Yeah.
like, oh man, this is gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
That happened a lot with NES games.
Marble
I missed
Madness.
that when you didn't know how good or bad it would be until you rented it.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. But sometimes your weekend
Aesthetic.
was ruined. This is an early Jim Henson commercial for coffee.
Okay, buddy, what do you think of Wilkins coffee? I never tasted it. Now, what do you think of Wilkins?
Care for a cup of Wilkins coffee?
I think that's early Kermit right there.
No, I don't like coffee.
God
This has been a public service.
Whoa, dude!
This is great.
Drink our coffee, or we'll shoot you in the head.
Yeah.
We're here to persuade people to drink more Wilkins coffee.
What's the club for?
To get their attention.
You murderous
on the
frog.
Wilkins coffee bandwagon?
Never.
No! You either go with Wilkins or you just don't go.
This is great.
Drake Wilkins, or we will assassinate you.
You don't drink Wilkins coffee, you're not all there.
Oh, that's a lot of...
In fact, without Wilkins coffee, you're nowhere.
This is the one they played during kids shows.
Too much coffee is what made these commercials.
Yeah.
I really do like Wilkins coffee.
Did you call? You know, people who don't drink Wilkins coffee just blow up sometimes.
Oh, that's a lot of...
See what I mean?
Was the island one Stockholm syndrome? Like he was finally okay with his abuser, and his
I
abuser's like,
actually
"Hey
do
there,
like
buddy.
it.
Hey there, buddy. We're watching you." That's one of the darkest ones.
Just go ahead and shoot me in the head again.
What the fuck?
Shit.
It's a guillotine.
Oh yeah,
This machine will make you want a cup of Wilkins coffee.
Not me. I'll take mine with cream and sugar.
God, this is great.
Disappointed. I wanted to see him decapitated.
Do you drink Wilkins coffee?
No.
Oh, things just seem to happen to people who don't drink Wilkins.
What? What an effective advertising strategy. Accident might happen to you if you don't drink Wilkins.
Better drink the Wilkins. Treat my
Right,
phone.
it's like they're sponsored by the mafia. Hey, look, you either drink this coffee or, your head might end up in a guillotine.
Right.
The
Want
best
the Wilkins
part of
coffee with your
waking
strawberry
up is the
shortcake?
horse's
Can't
head,
say
not
that I
in your
do.
bed.
You can't
Wilkins
say that
coffee.
you don't either.
Oh, he poured coffee on him too.
Dick.
Boy, this hammer reminds me of Wilkins coffee.
Why?
Because it always hits the spot.
Oh.
Anybody who doesn't drink Wilkins coffee ought to be tarred and feathered, right?
Wrong.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
He always was a bad sport.
Ironically, he was there to buy tea.
I can get you Wilkins coffee for a price.
I wouldn't touch it.
You just
There's
have to
no
suck
future
my
in an
dick.
attitude like that.
Some mafia shit right there.
You got it fucking hit because he said he didn't like Wilkins coffee.
I really, really want Wilkins coffee right
Dude,
now.
I am afraid not to drink it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Wilkins is probably doing 20 to life right now. So
Yeah.
it's good this coffee's off the streets.
Wilkins was the original Pizzagate.
The Indians won't bother you. All you got's a shipment of Wilkins coffee. I learned that everybody drinks
This
Wilkins.
one's a prequel.
Give me the eggs and no Wilkins coffee. Give him the eggs, boys. A meal without Wilkins is a mess.
Oh.
Why are we
I
climbing
like the idea that I would go into any store or restaurant and announce what I don't want. Like,
Yeah.
like I go into McDonald's, I like, give me a Big Mac and fries and no quarter pounder with cheese.
Right.
Like when you get a prostitute, like, I'll take a blowjob and please don't jam your hand up my butt cheeks for 17 minutes while singing to me lightly into my ear the Star Spangled Banner. Don't do that, please.
this tree for Wilkins coffee. I don't want any. It's autumn and the nuts are beginning to fall.
God damn it! The joke has
love
been
it.
done 100 times, but I love it every time. Kill that fucking puppet.
On guard, salute Wilkins coffee. But I don't drink Wilkins coffee. Some learn, some don't.
Wiping the blood off his fucking sword.
Damn, man, I just had this cleaned.
Yeah.
That was dark.
How about a delicious cup of Wilkins coffee? No.
Mr. President.
Strange things happen to people who don't drink Wilkins.
That was the Washington Monument.
Drink our coffee or we will blow up national monuments.
That's like the Masonic symbolisms of generations of control. And just hammering down the cryptic Illuminati penis. It's a penis. That's what it is.
Jim Henson made 179 of these commercials.
The 180 of them are funny.
I thought you were about to say Jim Henson made $179 off these commercials.
I've got 5 aces. Can you beat that? I've got a can of Wilkins coffee. Nothing beats Wilkins.
You just shoot him in the fucking face. So you got 5 aces? Fuck off. There's crack in this coffee.
He didn't even give him an opportunity to say he didn't want the coffee. He just straight up wanted to murder another person.
He's like, oh, I'm about to lose money. I'm pot committed. I'm about to lose $400. Now I'll just kill this guy and then drink some Wilkins coffee. Wilkins coffee was half methamphetamines.
Got $65 for a cup of Wilkins coffee? $65? You want me to go in there looking like a bum?
What?
Yeah, that one fell apart.
It's like, oh, that's what we want. Like everyone to think the coffee's $65.
You have any Wilkins coffee in your house? No. You know, a house isn't a home without Wilkins coffee.
That, yeah.
Just drop a bomb on him.
This hits
My
me
kids
when
were in there.
Dreezy's a bitch.
Dreezy's. Oh, damn. You're right. Kermit's coming back.
These Wilkins coffee commercials, don't you?
I'm tired of them. Just kidding, Mr. Wilkins. Those Wilkins coffee commercials.
You don't like them?
No.
Then let me fix your set.
You can't win.
Okay, we've seen about 40 of these now. And you say there's 140 more, basically?
I don't know if this has all. Yes, this does have all of them.
Christ. We can't watch. We can't.
That's what
He said 100,000 puppets lost their lives to make these commercials.
Oh, for real.
I saw this coming.
He always was a cut-up.
This is the real Happy Time murders.
So Kermit is evil.
Well,
deep down in his roots.
This is before he got MK Ultra'd.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rainbow Connection.
Rainbow Connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Boom.
I can't type.
What?
I don't take dictation.
What?
I won't sharpen pencils.
What?
I can't file.
Is Kermit going to kill her
Boss
too?
calls me indispensable.
Miss Jones,
Just a minute.
will you make a copy of this?
Naturally. I pushed the button on the Xerox 914. I make perfect copies of whatever my boss needs by just turning a knob and pushing a button. Anything he can see, I can copy in black and white on ordinary paper. And am I fast? I can make 7 copies in a minute. By the way, I never need wet chemicals. My 914 is a dry machine, powder dry. Sometimes my boss asks me which is the original, and sometimes I don't know. Here, Mr. Smith, I'm going to lunch with Mother.
What the fuck was that?
It's like, hey, the woman you want to bang all day at work because your wife's at home with the kids, and you normally don't want to give her a job because she'll just fuck everything up. Just let her press buttons all day, and then she'll give you hand jobs and your time off. That's what that was, right?
And fetch me some Wilkins coffee before I strangle you with my tie.
Fetch me some Wilkins or I'm going to nut in your face. No!
I picture the guys from Mad Men coming up with that last ad.
That was creepy. So, I'm only here because the boss fucks me, but at least I can make copies now.
Yeah, it's easy enough for even me.
Yeah. See, I just need a woman who will tell me what to do because I'm the lost one, but I'm not pretty, so I can't have that.
You know, I watched this 1991 Pontiac Bonneville ad, and it feels to me like I'm watching the intro to a Star Trek show. A brand new Star Trek show, and the Bonneville is some kind of spacecraft.
Every display precisely detailed. Every control thoughtfully placed. Every texture carefully crafted. Every aspect of the Bonneville SSE's spacious interior is designed for a single purpose, to place you in a position of power and control. The 1991 Bonneville SSE, full-size driving excitement from Pontiac.
Car date, 1994.
Rich Corinthian robotic leather.
Yeah, those cars, that was an ugly car.
Yeah, 90s cars were pretty bad. Pretty boxy.
I wonder if people got laid less in 90s cars than like the cars around them. If there was like a year break. Like maybe they designed the cars like that because of the AIDS epidemic and they wanted to slow down people getting sex. So they made ugly cars. Like it was an optic.
And just put a bed of spikes in the back seat.
Yeah, like, people fuck all the time in 80s Cadillacs. Let's make these cars look like something your grandma would drive to the pharmacy.
Billy makes music, and he has a whole song about how he can't fit into different cars that this girl wants him to ride in.
That's
right?
a good song.
Yeah, 80s baby.
It's a very good song. Why you trolling? Why you trolling?
I'm not trolling. It's
trolling?
true.
Why you trolling? So, I was much fatter then too. I like the music video that never got released for that. I look so ridiculously fat. It's like right before I decided to go on my diet. I'm just
There's a few
slobbering
videos
around.
of yours that never got released that you made.
Yeah.
Was it the other one where you fell out of the refrigerator down the stairs?
A couple of stinkers. We shot a couple of stinkers that never got released.
That sucks to like spend a few days shooting
It happens.
and just can it.
Looking back at it now, I'm like, I'm glad this never got released.
When you were making, Brad, when you were making all those Channel Awesome movies, was that fun or a lot of hard work? Brad, are you still there?
Uh-oh.
I don't know if he can hear us.
You broke Brad. Ben, you broke Brad.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
I'm starting to, for the last couple of minutes, I've been getting a little lag and cutting out. But I wasn't sure if it was just my end or not.
I'm gonna end the call and then call you back again.
Sure.
Okay. We're gonna do that here. It's kind of weird. All right, I'll share that. Is it better now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Yeah, just let us know if there's any trouble. Sometimes it messes up.
Oh yeah, no problem. I just didn't know if it was the power of that automobile. Way too much electricity and power for one particular call.
Yeah. Here's an old Radio Shack Tandy computer commercial.
Radio Shack. Here it is. A Tandy 1000 SL computer system. IBM PC compatible and sale price for under $9.99. Save $200.
Comes complete with color monitor and built-in DeskMate software.
Word processing, graphics, worksheet.
I've never seen one so easy to use.
Greetings. Need directions back to your planet?
This technology is more advanced than we thought.
And we save $200.
Beam it up.
Save $200 on the Tandy 1.
Wow, the prosthetics for those aliens in a 1980s Radio Shack commercial looks better than other things that I've seen that are more modern.
I feel like whatever planet they're from, though, is way more technologically advanced than anything they'd find in an 80s Radio Shack.
Yeah, look at the price tag, too. 1989, $1,000 was...
Yeah.
What, almost double that now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The modern equivalent of $500,000.
Yeah. Oh, man, I remember the Apple Lisa, when it was made, was the equivalent of like 20 grand or something in today's money.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
1000 SL system, less than...
Back then, I'd pay $1,000 to pay like the computer Bruce Lee game in 3D chess or something. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything else in
$99 only
87.
at Radio Shack.
Yeah.
A Tandy. I don't...
Tandy was the brand of computer that Radio Shack sold, and it was named after the owner of Radio Shack. The Tandy Corporation. It was actually a leather corporation that bought Radio Shack.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how Nintendo's like a over 100-year-old company.
Yeah, Nintendo made like playing cards.
Yeah, like greeting cards or something.
Yeah, and like decks of playing cards. That was their first thing before they got into electronics. Yeah.
And they brought it back in the 80s with the Super Mario Brothers board game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, actually, we're not too far from Nintendo of America headquarters here. Like, it's the next town north of us. But there's nothing cool there. You have to get an invite to see their little visitor center there. So, pull some strings, Billy.
You want me to call Mario and tell him Peach is in another castle while he's going to find her? We sneak in?
Yeah.
We could do that.
Is that all it takes?
Something tells me that Peach was in an entanglement with Bowser. And she just told Mario that like he was kidnapping her and stuff.
I always wonder what Bowser wanted to do with her. They're like different species, right?
Matter. Doesn't
How's
matter.
that going to work?
I'll tell you how it's going to work.
Tell them what you did, Peach.
There's going to be spikes.
Are they hoping she can lay eggs?
Oh no. All those Koopa kids are like hills have eyes.
They're like reptile/mammal hybrids.
Yeah, they were born. They're like
we sound like Alex Jones now.
Reptile mammal hybrids born out of the Mushroom Kingdom. Bowser going
Koopa
deep.
kids are secretly chuds that live in the sewer, play their pianos, and keep us up late at night.
Oh, damn. Bowser Jr. and the Koopalings are a thing. Oh, they're a thing. But are they a Hills Have Eyes thing? Interspecies erotica. That's the question. That's where Nintendo needs to take this. And if they're not willing to do it, we got to get a fan film on Kickstarter. Got to make this happen. Just like maybe a $10 million budget. Because
I can adapt all of my Battletoads fan fiction to this.
In my Battletoads fan fiction, they all die in the turbo tunnel. No one ever finishes it.
Rude.
In my Battletoads fan fiction, I finally beat that game.
Yeah. It's funny how much I liked that game as a kid because I couldn't get that far in it. It was so hard.
But like those few levels, like before you die, are like totally playable. Like extremely hard, but playable.
Yeah, I just loved beat 'em up games in general, but they were all adapted from the quarter stealing machines of arcades, so they were really hard. Did you see Streets of Rage 4 came out recently?
Nice.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Streets of Rage was the
same.
beat 'em up for Sega back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so weird that one of the like exclusive tie-in games for the Power Glove was a beat 'em up game. It was what was it? Bad City Brawler? Was that it?
Bad Dudes?
It was that and Super Glove Ball, which made sense. Like that worked with the Power Glove, but the other was just like specifically a fighting game that was weird because
That is weird. Because like you're
like,
finger
lift up your
bending.
pinky, you'll punch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
and-
you're flicking the guy on the nose.
And then in the Wizard, the one kid played Rad Racer with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, in fairness to Lucas from the Wizard, that is one of the games on Nintendo that you could get kind of okay playing with the Power Glove. You just got to kind of turn like a steering wheel. As long as you don't have to like flick punch somebody, you'll be fine.
Lucas. Yeah, I didn't realize this until recently. I watched someone do a review of The Wizard, and they brought up that it is kind of like Rain Man in a way.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like video game centric Rain Man for kids. Have you ever seen that movie?
I was Fred Savage.
Fred Savage, yeah.
Does he play like Spectrum Boy?
No, his little brother does.
Oh.
They go on a cross-country trip because they want to make it to California, but then he finds out along the way, like, man, my brother's kick-ass at video games, dude. We can like hustle so many truckers.
Yeah, kind of like Rain Man, where two brothers, one of them's mentally ill, travel across the United States, and on the way they find out that his brother is very good at gambling.
I've seen neither of these movies. I'm a horrible person.
In The Wizard, it's like you'd think the performance from like the kid would like, in theory, you would think it would maybe be tasteless, but it's like really not. It's like played relatively dramatically. The kid's performance, it's like played somewhat straight and relatively realistic, like way more so than some other movies that were nominated for an Oscar. Like The Wizard is far less embarrassing than something like Radio with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
Like, there's no part of The Wizard where he's just riding down a hill on a shopping cart going, yay, I was good at Double Dragon.
Even like What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Leonardo DiCaprio's performance was kind of over the top. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Dude from The Wizard got it right.
Yep.
So
Just
was
the
Fat
right
Man.
amount.
So was the Fat Mama in that movie, though. Like, you know how many times Fat Mama stomp up and down and destroy a house? They were playing up in there. And we don't call her out because fat people, they fall under the radar. Like you brought up, what was the Jada Pinkett Smith movie you brought up?
Demon Knight.
Yeah, and sure, it came out before The Nutty Professor, but how could you not credit her for being on The Nutty Professor where she dates a fat guy? Because we don't want to remember that they had a hot girl dating a fat guy.
I haven't watched any of the Nutty Professor movies.
They had her dump him before the second movie. So in the second movie, he's with Janet Jackson, which leads the question of like, why does he even need this serum? It seems like he has no problem picking up insanely good-looking women.
I feel like this was the laziest part of Eddie Murphy's career, was where he just like wanted to put on a fat suit and make a movie, and like that's all he did, right?
There's Norbit, and it was the part in his career where he'd be playing about 5 different roles per movie.
Right.
Because there was Vampire in Brooklyn, he plays a few different roles. Nutty Professor, of course, and Norbit.
Yeah, he was the multi-role guy. That was cool. Like,
when is Coming to America 2 coming
probably after COVID settles. I assume they filmed it before COVID was done, but maybe it's on hold.
And Arsenio's in it?
I think everybody came back.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Even James Earl?
I think they got him.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
If they got him back for Lion King.
Yeah.
Unless he's just a special effect in Coming America 2 and just does the voice.
They'll make him like what's his name in Star Wars, where he's all CGI.
Yeah. Maybe they will do that. Like he'll be a hologram.
He's not dead though.
Yeah, but
Oh, he'll be like he was in Lion King. You know, Simba, you must avenge my death.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be an apparition in the sky. Yeah.
I want to rewatch the live action Lion King, and I don't know why. I remember not thinking it was worth watching.
I don't really
again.
want to see any of those. I
was expecting Mulan to come out, and I haven't seen the original Mulan, so I was going to watch the live action first.
Oh, and by the way, we're going to wrap this up in about 10 minutes. After about 10 minutes, we're going to read the Streamlabs, and then we'll be going over to Vimeo tonight for those of you who are patrons. Billy and I will be doing a review of that Henry Winkler movie that we mentioned earlier. What were you saying? Oh, I thought you
Brad was going to talk, I thought.
The Disney remakes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. God, I've seen all of them. The only one that I thought was any good was Pete's Dragon. And of course, that was the one that made the least amount of money.
I liked the original Pete's Dragon when I was a kid. I've never seen the new one.
The remake I kind of liked. Mulan, I think, is the next one.
Yeah, Mulan was supposed to come out, but then COVID hit and it got pushed back. So I was waiting on that one.
How can you call it live action when it's all it's like 90% CGI anyway?
Exactly. I know, yeah.
It looks like live action.
In Lion King, yeah, it's all like, because the Lady and the Tramp live action one, like, yeah, the dogs are frightening CG, but there are like a lot of human characters in it. Lion King, no. It's like, okay, you made like a 3D animated Lion King. That's not nearly as good.
Yeah, I don't know why they're doing this. I know why, because it's financially beneficial, but otherwise, it just doesn't make sense to me to remake the movies that have already been made just with a more modern style.
And ones that were already good. Yeah. Like, I guess, like I see it if it was one that didn't work that well the first time, but that's not really what they're doing. I vastly preferred like the era of the direct-to-video Disney sequel. Like, that was bad too. Like Mulan 2, 101 Dalmatians 2, Lady and the Tramp 2, all that. Those were bad too, but at least they were just getting buried direct-to-video. Like, they knew their place. They were just going to video, and they weren't remakes of the other movie. They were coming up with their own plots. So
yeah,
like,
those direct to video sequels are almost like non-canon in a way, you know?
Yeah.
I saw Lion King 1.5.
Oh no, they did that?
Well, yeah, it's actually pretty good. They do the Guildenstern and Rosencrantz with Timon and Pumbaa, where they're going around and like setting up the Lion King's Hamlet. It's cute, but all the major plot points in the movie, like Mufasa dying. Maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but Mufasa dying was because Pumbaa farted and the herd ran away from the fart and then ran over and killed Mufasa. Like that was I don't think I'm retconning that wrong, and that's really his fart killed Mufasa.
That's awesome. Like, now when you watch Lion King and there's the heartbreaking scene where Mufasa dies, now you will always have it in the back of your head, a fart caused this.
I hope I'm making this up, but I swear I swear it really happened.
You also swear that you found in a dumpster a VHS tape with a Gene Wilder porno on it.
My mom will vouch for that. She took it away from me and wrote garbage can nasties on the side.
I don't deny that you found it, and I don't deny that someone that resembled Gene Wilder was in it. But it's not Gene Wilder.
John Holmes, because they both kind of had like 70s white guy pros.
I swear it was Gene Wilder.
John Holmes.
And it looked like it was like a professional movie, like it was a scene from a movie. But I was young. I was 12, so at the time I figured it was just from a movie with Gene Wilder because it was shot like a movie. It was cut and edited. His face was like, oh, before he's getting his blowjob. And he's getting the fucking blowjob. And I'm like, this is...
There would be documentation of this existing.
You would think, right? Is this the
I
Mandela
would think
effect
if
of porn?
No, it's you being mistaken.
I don't think I'm mistaken. I think what happened was he was on set and they were filming and they were like, all right, Gene, we got you a gift. And a prostitute comes in, blows him, and he doesn't realize he's being filmed the entire time. And this tape just went out to like social elites.
You're creating this really bizarre conspiracy theory just so you can be right.
What else explains a porno tape of Gene Wilder showing up in a garbage can?
That you were mistaken and that it was just someone who really resembled
I suppose
Gene Wilder.
that's-
That's a way more reasonable explanation than yours.
I suppose that maybe 12-year-old me was a little off in his retelling of this memory.
And where else did his last name Wilder come from?
Exactly. Girls Gone Wilder.
Yes. Originated from 70s hardcore pornography.
Bow, bow.
He was helping his friend Richard Pryor out with some debt.
Oh, God. Gene, I got to tell you, they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me, Gene, if you don't get a blowjob. I just got to get a blowjob?
That was,
yeah, Gene, I swear, it's just a blowjob.
That was a see no evil, hear no evil.
Blow no
outtake.
evil.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Yeah. So you've seen that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of movies, and then I've not seen a lot of
I've noticed
movies.
a lot of older ones you haven't seen, like
Yeah.
older ones that are classics, like Rain Man. That's definitely a big
Like
one.
The Cat from Outer Space, this classic 70s movies.
Like, I have seen Clockwork Orange and stuff like that.
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal
All
Jacket.
the Kubricks.
Yeah. My dad
Escape
made
to
me
Witch
watch.
Mountain.
So I haven't seen that.
Herbie Goes Bananas.
I saw one of the Herbie, or is it Herbie the Love Bug? What is it?
That's one of the older ones, I think. Right?
Yeah.
There
Just
was
the Love Bug. Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo was one of them.
Have you seen the Shaggy Dog movies?
I don't believe so.
Those were like some older ones that they used to rerun on the Disney Channel back in the day.
The Shaggy DA,
Yeah.
or this time he's an attorney.
Yeah. Man, Disney would just crap out some really poorly made movies back in the day, in the early 70s.
And now you can find them all on Disney Plus.
Yes. Do they
Except
have
Song
that
of the
is-
South?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that is why I have Disney Plus, in case it's 3 a.m. and I need to watch $1 Million Duck starring Dean Jones.
Yeah, but you're right though, Billy. Song of the South will just be erased from history. I had it on VHS when I was a kid, taped off of the Disney Channel, because I don't think it was ever actually released. It's not that. I mean,
in Japan it is like
It is?
Yeah, in Japan, it might even have a Blu-ray. But in some other countries there are like official releases of it, but here it's like no, you want that, you just got to go to Splash Mountain.
Yeah, they're gonna redo
That's
Splash
true.
Mountain, I guess,
Are they because of
all
yeah.
the protesting and stuff. They're like, it's time.
Dude, I heard, you know, that that restaurant in Myrtle Beach with the really messed up name? I think they may have closed.
My mom texted me, by the way.
Uh-huh.
And she said, Billy, I remember you found the tape. I cannot say if Gene Wilder was in it. I never watched it. I wish you'd mentioned that part before talking about
No,
it.
because he's making it sound like you did watch it, because he's like, my mom can vouch for me.
Well, I guess
This is like an argument I had with other second graders when I was a kid. I'll get my mom and she'll tell you how it was.
I guess she didn't watch it, and she wants everybody to know she didn't watch it. My
Susan,
dad
you are
watched it a lot.
mistaken. It was John Belushi, not Gene Wilder.
Yeah, it was John Belushi, and he was eating cat food out of a lady's butt crack. Hi, Mom.
And your mom did watch it.
Yeah, she's like, I love the Blues Brothers. Mom.
Not with John Goodwin, though.
She likes John Goodman. She had that on tape, DVD of
What was that, Blues Brothers 2000?
2000.
Oh, man.
Oh God. I saw that in the theater by myself. It was the loneliest experience of my life.
Did you think it was going to be good, though? Did you think they were going to recapture the magic?
I think I was still like, because, okay, I would have been 17 when that came out. So just young enough to where there would be a small percentage of being naive to think this might still be good.
Right.
Because you're still like that age where you want every like sequel to a movie you grew up with to be good. So you go in with that kind of optimism. And then the next thing you know, there's ghosts coming out of the clouds and Paul Schaefer's turning people into zombies.
Yeah, what?
That happens in that movie.
Did they ever make an Animal House 2 that I'm just not aware of?
There was a TV series.
Was there?
Yeah, it was called Delta House, where it had some of the same cast, but was about Josh Mistel plays John Belushi's like cousin or something, and it's about him joining the Delta House, and it still has the Dean. It still has John Vernon in it and a few others. It lasted like half a season, I think.
Yeah, 1978.
There it is.
The fat guy's in it.
That was such a huge movie.
Yeah, it still has Stephen First and D-Day.
And Dr. Disrespect and Josh Gad.
I was thinking Josh Gad too when I saw that.
And fucking Haley Joel Osment's over there.
There was the knockoff from the writer of Friday the 13th called King Frat, about a farting competition. I love my job because I know so much about bad movies like this.
King Frat? Sounds
King Frat.
Delightful. It sounds delightful.
Starring a John Belushi lookalike character named JJ Grossout Gombrowski. He gets like beer and money for his fraternity by entering a fart contest.
They got Grossout Gombrowski? They hired Grossout Gombrowski?
JJ Grossout Gombrowski.
I just got to point this out, guys.
Classic 70s.
I don't know if you understand the duality of, was it King Fart or King Frat? Yeah.
King Frat.
Yeah, frat and fart are the same word, except the R and the A are switched.
The poster even points that out.
The
poster like scratches over the word fart and like writes frat on it while JJ Grossout Gombrowski is sitting in the stall taking a shit. Boom.
That's beautiful.
Hold up. Is he spread bagel taking a shit or no?
Oh no, he's got
What is this called again?
I think he's got it.
King Frat.
King Frat. King Frat. It opens where they accidentally kill a man at the beginning of it. But they make it more hilarious by making everyone at the funeral high.
Nice.
By blowing weed smoke through all of the vents that causes everyone at the funeral to laugh hysterically. The 70s was the best time to go to college.
Oh shit.
Is this King Frat?
Yeah, right here.
There it is.
Starring Joe Piscopo. Oh,
yeah. So raunchy you can taste it.
I forgot about this. How like Animal House is National Lampoon's Animal House. So they just made shit up and just said, "Oh, Mad Maker's King fucking Frat." Mad Maker. It's like, but Mad Maker doesn't exist. Oh, people going to see this movie won't know any better.
Banned by the Board of Health.
I am of the Board of Health, and I ban this movie, King Frat.
Yeah. How can a movie be banned by the Board of Health? I don't get it. It's a lie, right? It's a lie.
They were taking huge advantage of me being very naive going to see the movie King Frat.
Yeah, I just invested in Mad Makers before writing a complaint letter to the Board of Health for banning this film.
I love that the dude, John DeSanti, who's JJ Grossout Gombrowski he's on the poster right there. I love that he was like 45 years old when he made this movie.
He's playing a college student. Yeah. That's ridiculous. There's a farting contest. This sounds like a movie you would write.
I did write this.
You did? You went back in time? Are you a time traveler?
I thought they stole my idea.
Oh.
This is one of those things. I wish they'd tell me if they're going to make the fucking sauce dip condoms. The sauce packet condoms.
Dude, if I wrote King Frat, I'd show that to everybody. I'll be like, you want to see the worst piece of shit ever written? Dude, I wrote this. This paid for my house, or not really. It just paid rent for it just paid rent for a couple months.
Yeah, this bought me my first 1992 Pontiac Bonneville.
I love stumbling across that shit, man.
Well, I'm gonna pull up these Streamlabs real quick. We have
Yeah, we're going to read the Streamlabs we got, and then we're going to wrap it up here.
the big one from A Kitty Screams. Zhao Shim said, I love the Cinema Snob and DP, so it's awesome to see Brad, Billy, and Ben together.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Stuttering Chris says, I bet 50 Cent is still laughing at Ja Rule. Yeah. Just keep that in mind for the big Dono. Thank you. Josh 2.0, thank you. Larry Hill said, love you, Billy. Take my money. Gladly. The Void of Zen said, I love PAWGs. Billy knows what I mean. And Ben, I'm the cold now. I'm the void, the endless pit of nothingness swirling into the ending darkness. It's where Billy gets his adrenochrome from. Love you, Sweetman. Yeah, that's where I get my adrenochrome from. And me and Tom Hanks, we go 50-50 on a Wayfair. The Cinephiliac says, speaking of Kubrick films, Billy, have you seen Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb? It's my favorite comedy. I did not see that movie, no. I know exactly what you're talking about. I think I watched the end of it with my dad, and I was like, well, this is fucking weird. I'd never watched the beginning, so I never went back to it. I was a little boy. But that should catch us up with everything. And for those of you wanting to get some adrenochrome, I gotta hook up.
I like how you did that. Yeah, after you said
You snort adrenochrome now.
Do you? I thought you injected it.
I think you drink it out of the back of a kid's skull like a Capri Sun. What?
You know what? Those Capri Sun straws were always defective. And I try to poke it in that hole, and sometimes it wouldn't make it. It would, like, bend. Did you ever have a faulty Capri Sun straw?
I've had my issues with Capri Suns.
Okay.
But
all right.
I brought my lunch to school every day. So luckily school was 12, kindergarten through senior year was 12 years, which was just long enough to perfect Capri Suns.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you had to train yourself. At first it was quite the task, but then you'd get like pinpoint accuracy.
That's what study hall was for. I didn't study for tests. I just studied to learn how to use Capri Sun.
I just had about 120 Capri Suns during study hall. I was pissing in cups all around me. My girlfriend was drinking them. Fuck it.
Wow. We learned a lot today.
It is the one thing that I learned in school that I have adapted into my adult life.
All right, so we are going to wrap up this show. We will see the rest of you patrons during our live review. Brad, thanks for joining us. We will have you back again very soon.
Thank you.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And good night to the rest of you. We will see you on Thursday.
Patrons, come watch Vimeo with us.
Yep. Good night, everybody.
In the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. From the strangest corners of the internet, gonna get TP'd by Billy and Ben. You know where you can find them at. Get ready, cause they're gonna kick your... Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants.